Welcome to Speak Podcast, everyone. We are live. We are here. Today we have the one and only Luca.
Hey, what's going on?
And of course, as you may already know, we have Mr. Mooch in the building.
You already know the Barry White of YouTube, MOOCH. I hope I did that.
No, he did not, you guys. We are so excited to have you. Tell us, and everyone who doesn't know, you might already know, guys. So let's just be real here. But tell us a little bit about you, who you are, what you do.
Well, I assume you're talking to me and not Luca, because we all know how Luca is.
Oh,
Luca lets us know every day.
We're talking about the
Right?
MOOCH.
We already know about that double O. So basically, this is exciting. I want to say that I'm excited that you guys have me on the show because this show is completely different than the other 80 shows. Like, you guys definitely stepped out and created your own brand. So first of all, thank you. Certain things people don't know about me. Listen, been gaming for a long time. Do like all that, but I mean, on the real life kind of thing, shit, I'm into sports. Definitely big into sports. I like baseball. I'm gonna bore your crowd to death right now.
Fine.
I mean, I try to stay active as much as possible. People don't know that. People always say the stigma with gamers is we come home and just get a big bag of Doritos and forget about life. That's not true. Kind of try to balance everything. I was kind of talking to somebody on Twitter today about it. Like, podcasting and gaming, it has a place in our lives. It has a place in everyone's lives that's listening, people right now on the show, the hosts. But at the same time, we all kind of take time to do different things in life. Big in the family. I got a large Italian family. I'm 100% Italian, all American though.
Nice.
But, it is what it is. Like, so we kind of work that into our schedules. Work is always hectic, but it is what it is. You try to come home and unwind and relax. I always tell people, it's okay to drink, but drink responsibly. Have an adult beverage. Someone right now, it's Sunday right now. You should have some kind of mixed drink in your hand, or a beer, or a wine, or something.
Or
Cut
Powerade,
loose, relax,
like
or a Powerade, okay, or a Rockstar drink, whatever you like. But yeah, that's a little bit about me. I mean, I'm sure you ladies will definitely be asking me some questions, and I'm going to be very happy to answer all of them.
Of course, we have that. But let's let Miss Luca here give us her little intro, if you have one. I mean,
Hi guys,
we know
it's
Luca,
me,
but come on.
TheAshenLuca, here again. What's up, guys?
What? Wait. Excuse me. What is the ha ha ha? I mean, I don't know what that was.
What do you know? What do you mean?
I mean,
That's
it
me
was
all the time.
It was kind of cute. I won't lie. It's fine.
Oh,
I'll allow it.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you for allowing such a thing. It's good to have you on, Mooch. I am a huge Mooch maniac. Crap's been trying to get me to say I'm a crapaholic for like a month now, and I'm like, listen, fam, it's Mooch all the way. Like,
You're not leaving. You're not leaving our team, Luca.
Oh,
That's not
I
happening.
like it's just not happening. Like the ranting is like I'm like, okay, this guy rants. This is my dude. Mooch maniac confirmed. So I'm really happy that you decided to come on. I think we're gonna have a good show. I think we're gonna have a lot of fun, and I can't wait.
Yay! And of course, I'm Blue. I'm a gamer, streamer, podcaster, and I do lots of other things that you will find out if you listen enough, because I do not know how to stop talking sometimes. And I am also a fan of you, Mooch, and I'm glad that you're here. I'm super excited for what's to come. The show is going to be lit.
Absolutely.
We are ready for all of you. Our bodies are ready. So, moving on. Don't.
Luca's like,
Don't.
wait.
No. Ignore that. I'm just saying, we're ready for this. I mean, I'm ready. Are you ready?
Yeah.
I feel like it's interesting because there are some times where we get people that are just like, I don't know what to do with your show. It's so different and I'm not used to it. And I feel like Mooch is like, yeah, bring it on. Like, I'm ready. Like, we're good.
Well, that's what we were talking about, right? And I got to agree. Like, that's what made this so exciting. When you were like, oh my God, I woke up this morning and I was ready. I totally was ready for Speak because you guys are doing something different. And like, for me, it's exciting because you guys are sitting here before and there's definitely rules to every podcast, but I love listening to what you got and the way you're switching it up. And it's something that actually gives me like the first time jitters again, because you're like, wow, I've never gotten on a show and talked about shit just outside of gaming, but keeping it with it at the same time. So you have the audience here. I'm pumped. It's going to be a great show.
Nice. All right.
Nice.
So let's move on to our first topic.
Mm-hmm.
or our first segment, I'm sorry, which is our questions. And of course, here is where we ask some questions of everyone, including the hosts. And it's been lately different questions every week, which is great. But like, guys, you're so nosy. You know you love question time. I mean, I'm just saying, like, you get to find out more information about us. And I mean, I don't mind answering questions for you. So if you feel like you want to send some questions that we haven't answered, definitely comment down below and we will get those up here. I mean, we are all about answering questions for you. So our first question is, are you a clean or messy person? Luca, I want to know.
I'm messy.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Why?
It's pretty bad. I do get like sometimes. I mean, sometimes I get bursts of like I need to clean up, and then I'm really like particular about that. I'm kind of like just very anal about like my stuff being clean. But then I get lazy again, and then I'm super messy. The only thing that's organized and clean is my gaming area. So.
Wait, is that priorities here?
That's my priority. That's my priority.
Funny. All right. So what about you, Mooch?
I'm actually, so this is a tale of two mooches here. So if you're talking about me, college era, totally messy. Like just like only cleaned up when you knew certain folks were coming over, people were coming over, ladies were coming over. But other than that, it was just like fraternity being a mess, like you clean up your beer cans, get everything all tidied up. That was a scramble. Now, adult mooch, different world. Totally like things clean and neat and predictable. And I hate to say that. And that's not boring. Trust me. It's anything but boring. Just kind of like keeping stuff like, you got so much shit going on in life. Wait, everybody complains about that on Twitter. It's like, oh my God, my life is hectic. It's this, it's that. You'd be amazed if you take 1 week, and it takes a week. Take a week and get yourself completely organized, okay? Put your shit where it belongs. Put shit where you know it is. And then you'll find that like your life will become a lot less hectic when you're not wasting 2 hours just looking for something. So that's like true. I do, you know what I mean? Like that's how I kind of grew in like over the years. Like I went from complete mess and who cares to like completely organized. Well, I'm gonna say completely organized, but like, you know, more organized. But like I'm with Luca on that. Like I keep gaming stuff, everything like in order. Nowhere's near like the Crap Gamer. I mean, Crap Gamer has an entire wall of like cassette and plastic stuff, like from 1980 till yesterday. I don't have that. Like I'm not like I don't actually keep a lot of things. I don't keep a lot of CDs. Like I play things and then or music, and then I just kind of like always traded them in or like didn't care because like music's always readily available. I listen to like my music is always live. I love radio. People are like, what do you mean by that? Like, I'm not one of those people when I was growing up that just always took a disc or took a tape and put it in and just listened to that over and over and over and over again. And I know I'm in the minority. I like pop. I like things that are fresh, things that are happening today. Yes. Right. And that's why I like podcasting. I like these types of things because this is happening right now. Mm-hmm. These are your opinions today. These are not your opinions tomorrow. So shit always changes the way you live and music changes the way you are. So like, I've always liked that with life. Like, games, I want to know what's happening. I want to know the new tech. Music, I want to keep up on what's today. I'm not always listening to something that's from 1989 or 1990 just because it was supposed to, or I'm supposed to love that nostalgia. Mm-hmm. No, I love that when I was living it. Yeah. But I'm living today and I want to enjoy today. So a lot of times people are like, oh, you don't have that disc? You don't have that? And I'm like, no, I just put on like, I have, what is it, terrestrial radio I listen to. I listen to Sirius radio. I'm always flipping. Like people call me like I flip through the car. If you're in the car with me, you're never listening to more than like 2 minutes of a song because there's too much music to stop. Yeah, I'm all over the place. I'm all over the place.
So I mean, we asked you a question about if you're neat or messy, Mooch. I'm just saying.
Just saying. Did I rant? Did I just go off on a rant? Is that what you're trying to say?
We started with the first question, and it was like,
are you kidding me? It's awesome.
Yeah, did you see Sajibot?
This is gonna be like a 4-hour show. Prepare yourself.
It really is. I already wrote my entire family, and I was like, it was nice knowing you. No, Sajibot goes, this is what you get when you ask Mooch a question.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. It's good. We love it. This is what we do here.
Yeah, I just took that and ran with it. But no, I would definitely say neat.
Okay.
There you go.
Short answer, neat. I mean, it's interesting though because that sounds, see, you're neat, right? But then if you're constantly changing the music, I would think that your mind is kind of like all over the place, don't you? Like with that.
Yeah, I like where you're going with that. No, I know what you're saying. You're saying, so you're telling me, see, when you think neat, You think like straight arrow, only does
like
this, won't do that.
organized mindset,
Yeah.
organized life. Like,
No, that I'm not. See, I guess what I mean by neat is I mean like organized, yes. But no, I'm actually messy in the fact that like if at any point in time, someone says, yo, it's 8 o'clock, we got to go over here, this is happening, like I'm going. I will change what I'm doing in a heartbeat. So if that is where messy takes me, then I guess I'm 50-50. I'm neat when it comes down to like if you came into the house, you'd be like, this dude's neat. Like he's got shit organized. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
but at the same time, no, like I believe in like live off the seat of your pants. Like when something changes, you got to roll with the changes. Like you can't just be like stuck in your ways.
I like that.
Keeps you forever young, you know?
Yeah. See, I'm a clean person. I enjoy my surroundings to like, so I want my surroundings to be neat and clean so that I feel like I can think clearly. I don't like too much shit around me. So, that's basically how I try, but sometimes I feel like you have to kind of like, not everyone's like you, so you can't expect them to be. So sometimes I'm just like, I try and tell people like, look, this is how you're supposed to do it. And they're like, this is not your house, bitch. Stop. And I'm like, oh, sorry. I mean, your life would be better if you had this like this, but okay, fine. But
that's what it is, Blue. That is such a good point. It's like when someone says that to you, like you say life would be better. Like that was one of the things that like I've learned, I would say in the past 10 years, that's a huge difference from me back in the day. Me back in the day, I would be like, no, this is how it is. And you were like, no, that's not how I see it. And I'd be like, well, your life would be better if you saw it my way. You know what I mean? Like, but now I've gotten to a point where I try to step back and I try to see the other side of the coin. And I'm like, okay, if that's how you want to live your life, fine. But all I ever ask is this. If I give you advice on anything, it doesn't matter what it is, and you don't want to take it, then later on, when you got a problem, I don't want to hear it.
Bitch, and be like,
but I don't want to hear it.
You were so right. You were so right.
Exactly.
Oh my God,
I feel that way all the time. It's like somehow I'm always the person who's in the wrong, like, quotation marks. Yet I am right like 99% of the time. Like if I say, like one of my old coworkers used to be late, like he was lazy, he never helped us out. Like he was a huge problem. And I was like, guys, he's lazy and doesn't help us out. And they're all like, what are you, you complain too much. You're too bitter. You're such a bitch. 2 months later, wow, you know what? He is kind of lazy. I'm like, no shit. Like no shit. Like I say these things months in advance and everyone acts like I'm the crazy one, and then it rolls around and they realize and they're like, oh shit, you were right. I'm like, no, of course I was right. Why don't you just listen to me? Why don't you just take my advice? Like I don't get it. I don't get it.
I don't get that either. Why do people like, sometimes you have to understand if someone's already lived that circumstance or they've already went through it, at the very least you can listen to them. Take half of what they said for granted. You know what I mean? I don't understand that. People are always quick to dismiss. No, my point's right. I don't understand that. That's something I don't get. And everybody wants facts these days. Where are your facts coming from? You know where my facts come from? Life. When you've lived it.
Exactly.
I have experience, young child.
Right?
You would just be like, look,
recognize.
I can teach you something if you'll let me. Oh, that's what we feel like. We're like, this podcast, man, we just got to tell people, get your shit together.
Like, get it together, please.
Please, if you listen and you feel like, oh, shit, I'm in that situation, just do what we say. You'll thank us later. I mean, I'm just saying.
Agreed.
Yeah, exactly.
Jokes, guys. Jokes. Anyhow. Next question. Damn. Wow, that question took 15 minutes. Okay.
Awesome.
What do you usually think about right before falling asleep? Mooch, let's ask you this question first.
So that's great. So a lot of people today, this all kind of, I can take that question and I can completely blend it into what I was saying about Twitter earlier. Somebody was asking me on Twitter, like, how do you do this and this and this and this? And you say you do this and this. It's because, to be honest with you, like, I don't sleep a lot. Like, and that's not a bad thing. It's not because I got a problem. I can sleep all day if I want to. I choose not to. I usually get between 5 and 6 hours sleep because I think when you sleep, you're sleeping life away. Think about it. People are like, I get 8 hours a day of sleep. You're sleeping a third of your day away? You're missing a lot of shit. And, my whole thing is, so to answer your question, Blue, what do I think before I go to sleep? I'm usually like, should I go to sleep? That's actually what I ask myself is, should I be going to sleep right now? Because is there shit to do? Meaning, is it work related shit? Is it fun? Is it something you can do? Like some people for it's gaming, some people it's reading, some people it's just watching TV. For some people it's just unwinding, hanging out, having a drink, hanging out with your better half. You know, like that's what I always say. Like when I look at the clock, I don't look at the clock and go, "Oh, it's time for me to go to sleep." Like for me, if I hung out with my wife, we hung out, we had a good time. Then we went and did something else, and then like okay, and then we gamed out and we did that, and it's like okay, I did everything I could do today. I'm gonna go to sleep. But like a lot of people, I think go to sleep because they're like told to go to sleep. You need 8 hours sleep. And I'm not making fun of you if you get 8 or 9 hours sleep. All I am telling you is when you get to be 70, you're going to look at it and be like, I slept a third of my life away. I don't give a shit how good sleep feels. I'm not throwing that time away, you know? So I guess what I think about before I go to sleep is more like, should I be going to sleep right now? That's actually what I think. And I know it sounds crazy, but that's what I think. Is like, is this when I should be, or is this some other shit I could be doing?
Do you ever say like, am I tired right now? Like, is that one of the questions?
Yeah, I mean, well, let's be honest. Like, if you're like me and you're drinking some wine, your body tells you when you're tired. You don't even have to ask that question. You're like, yeah, I'm going to sleep right now. But I mean, yeah, no, it's like, it's not so much tired. It's did I accomplish what I wanted to do today? And it could be, that doesn't mean work. It means fun. It means good times. It means everything. Like,
I see.
Do not sleep your life away. That's my advice, straight up.
All right. What about you, Luca?
It depends on what I do throughout the day. Like if there was something I was supposed to do and I forgot to do it, sometimes I'll be thinking about that, or I'll be thinking about. Mooch, I'm completely the opposite. I love sleep. Sleep's my favorite thing to do. I'll be going to bed after like staying up late gaming or just talking to a couple of my friends on party chat, and I'm like, man, I'm only gonna get this much sleep before work tomorrow. That's like my main thought, like every single night. I'm like, oh, well, I stayed up till 2 a.m. talking to Fox. I guess I'll get like 3 hours of sleep. Okay, good night to me. You know, that's usually my main thought.
Nice. I have okay, so I don't know if you guys know this about me. I have some issues with anxiety. So usually before I go to sleep, the problem with me is that I will be exhausted. I work full time. I stream like sometimes 4 to 6 hours, sometimes more. And streaming is kind of exhausting. So like you'll be there and you'll just like interact with chat. So I do a lot throughout the day, not including the stuff for podcasts, not including everything else. So before I go to bed, I often think about, just like you said, Luca, the things that I did throughout the day. I kind of replay them in my head. And then I also do what Mooch does, where I'm just like, did I accomplish enough today? Or do I feel like, I did enough? And if not, what I do is I tell myself, fine. So then that means tomorrow, if I didn't do what I needed to do today, because I didn't have time, whatever, I'll have to do that tomorrow. And then I start thinking about tomorrow and what I should do tomorrow and what list I'm doing and da 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 da. It kind of like spirals out of control. And it's a problem because I'm exhausted. Like I need to be able to turn it off. And sometimes I can't turn it off. My mind kind of just like continuously just like goes round and around, and I'll be thinking about the same thing sometimes, especially when it comes to situations. Like if some shit went down with someone and I feel bad about it, or I feel like I could have treated it differently or whatever, if it's an important thing, because some things I don't give a fuck, it happened, done done and bye. But there are other times, like if it's something that I care about, I'll replay it in my head and I'll think about the ways it could have gone, which doesn't exactly serve any purpose other than the fact that I might be teaching myself how to handle something for the future, but it doesn't change the fact that it already happened, So I need to, and I've been working on this, but I need to tell myself, all right, enough is enough. Shut that book in your mind and just like go to sleep.
Yeah, and actually, you know what, Blue? What you just said is perfect. Like, you need to reiterate that. And it is a learning curve. It's something that someone said to me, too, is that why worry? You can worry. You can do. Don't even go to bed tonight. Don't even go to bed. Just sit up in bed and worry about everything you got to do tomorrow. And guess what? You still got to do it tomorrow.
Exactly. That's true.
And that's the thing. And let me tell you something. That's easier said than done. So I'm not telling you that. And it's like, oh, yeah, this is easy. It's taken years even for me to kind of get that. What you have to do is get the rest you can do the most you can, the best you can tomorrow. And guess what? I'm telling you right now, the best you can do tomorrow is better than half of what America is going to do tomorrow. So do what you can, but you need that rest. You do need some rest. Like I can sit here and preach, don't sleep 30 of your life away, but you need sleep. You do need to get rest because you have to function. So that's a key thing. I think that me, you, and a lot of people that are listening, because a lot of people on Twitter are always saying they have an anxiety, this, that. What you need to understand is go to sleep. Don't worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to come, whether you like it or not. You can watch the clock hit 6 o'clock in the morning, or you can let the clock wake you up at 6 in the morning. It's coming anyway, regardless. So be rested and be prepared for tomorrow.
Yeah, I agree.
Very nice. Very nice.
I agree. I feel like it's important. It's important to find a balance no matter where you are, like what section of your life you're in, you know? But it's definitely hard. It's definitely something they write books on this shit, people. So like it's not something that's easy. If it were easy, it would not be a category. But yeah, let's move on to our next question, which is what's your favorite movie? So let's have Luca answer this first.
All right. So my favorite movie is Fight Club. There's just when I saw it, I didn't know about the twist, so it was like a mind-blowing moment for me. That movie is amazing. And to be perfectly honest, I like a lot of those I like psychological thrillers and I like action movies a lot, even though like people are like, "Oh, you're a girl, so you like blah blah blah." I'm like, "No, no." Like I love John Wick, I love Fast and Furious, I love Triple X, like all that stuff is really cool to me, but Fight Club has a special place in my heart because of that twist and because I didn't see it coming. And it's just so it's weird. It's a really weird movie, and I like things that are different. I like things that are not conventional. I like things that are weird. So it really has a deep place in my heart, and I can go back and watch that movie. I watch it at least like twice a year. So
nice.
And what about you, Mooch?
Well, so for me personally, I mean, I could sit here and just be really, really status quo and say, oh, it's like Godfather or Goodfellas. Here's the thing. Those are fun movies, and there's a great amount of like acting and directing that went into it. But if you say to me, no, literally, let's get specific, because I like how you picked Fight Club and you explained it too, Lucas, which was great. My movie that I watch over and over again whenever it's on is Shawshank Redemption. And the reason I watch that movie is the same reason, like in not the same exact reasons that you have for yours, but mine is because of the depth of the movie. Innocent man, wrongly accused, has to prove his way, but also has to fight his way through a circumstance that he didn't see in life that was going to come up in front of him. And it took time, but he bashed that wall down and got through it. And he uses his brains to figure out how to get through the system, how to use the system, and then use the system to get out. And it's a deep movie. You know what I mean? Like you can sit there and say, oh, it's just fun because this and that happened. It's like, yeah, but like realistically, you go in there, right? He makes friends with Red. Red can get anything, but what does Red really want? Red just wants to be innocent. But sometimes when you're in there for so long in captivity, the outside world isn't necessarily the outside world you remember before you went in. And like, that's the kind of world that like, you have to understand, you have to relate that to everything in life, whether it's a new job or a new situation, anything at all. And when you go into something, there's always going to be a brick wall in front of you. It's going to be your friends. It's going to be your family. It's going to be people that are at work saying, you can't do this. There's no way out. You can't do it. What you have to do is perceive and push through the wall. You will always break the wall, but there's always someone there to tell you you can't do it. And that's kind of like the deepness I get out of like that kind of movie. And you could put that into everyday life. It doesn't matter if you're opening a business, starting a podcast, starting a brand new game, or it's something at work. There's always someone that's going to say, you can't do it. And when someone tells me I can't do it, all I try to do is do it better and do it best. And yeah, that's kind of where I get like the Shawshank is like, that's crazy, right? This is just a dude who gets wrongly accused. And by the end of the movie, and it's a long ass movie, by the end of the movie, his ass is free. And he's actually doing what we all want to do when we hit the lottery, right? He's on some island, just like shaving them, fixing a boat, about to just go sailing and chill. So he went from the worst of times to the best of times. So very cool movie. Very cool. It's kind of deep.
Exactly. So see, what's important in life is to not give up. Like you said, there's going to be so many obstacles in your way. And there's so many people who, when faced with these obstacles, they just stop. They're stagnant. They don't do anything to help themselves. And I've always been one of the belief that if you want something, you have to work for it yourself. You have to help yourself because, I mean, you can have friends and family, but honestly, the best person to help you is yourself. And sometimes if you don't have friends or family, the only one there for you is yourself. So you have to be the one to pick yourself up and to push yourself to go further.
Nice. You guys, So don't laugh at me, everyone. My movie has nothing to do. I mean, I could turn it around and make it more deeper than it is, but I don't know. My favorite
Blue's
movie.
like, I'm going for fun.
My favorite. My favorite movie is Titanic.
It's a good movie.
I will
Yeah, it's
say
good.
it's like a movie. Yeah, but
It's kind of good, right, Luca? We're like, all right.
but it ain't all. There are definitely other movies that are like that hit me in the feels, but I don't know if it was because of my age. I don't know if it was because of what I was going through at the time. But when I saw that movie, don't laugh, Crappy. Oh, rude. When I
there's
saw
that.
that movie, I don't know. I don't know. It's just stuck with me. I mean, yes, it's a sappy romantic movie, but there's so much more underneath. Like the fact that this person grew up in this kind of world and she met someone who grew up in a completely different kind of world. And like, come on, guys, like we can talk about how deep the you know, like poverty and, you know, the class issue, like we can talk about that stuff. But honestly, like, fuck, like that movie's romantic as shit. Come on, guys. Like, don't even tell me that you weren't like, oh, that's so sad. You know, come on. He dies. Like, come on. But yeah, I like that movie. And
So
I
wait,
don't
let me
care what
ask, can I
anyone
ask you a
says.
question though, Blue?
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you a question though. But are you a Leonardo DiCaprio fan?
I think so. I mean, I don't, if anyone ever asks me, like, what's your favorite actor, I'm just like, I don't give a fuck. Like, a movie is a movie.
Right.
You know, like, but I think a lot of his movies I've seen, I feel like I like a lot of his, I like him as an actor. I feel like he does a really amazing job and he doesn't get enough credit.
I agree.
Yeah,
I think he is a good actor.
he's my favorite actor. I love Leonardo DiCaprio. Literally every single movie he's been in, he's amazing in it. Like
He doesn't get,
he's
right?
amazing.
Luca just likes those Guidos.
Oh my God.
That too.
Oh
That
shit.
too.
Oh,
Mooch.
Lord.
Oh my goodness.
Exposed.
Moving on to the next. Imagine I'm just like, damn, like I don't know what he's talking. I don't even know what a Guido is.
So
Just
funny.
no-
Love it.
I'm just kidding. I know. God, but I like Leo and I like Titanic. Stop making fun of me in the chat. Yes. So let's move on to our next topic, which is topic number 1, where it's not as serious, but it can get serious, guys, because you know what we do here. Our topic today is unconditional love versus earned love. This is going to be interesting because there are different definitions of unconditional love and, you know, and earned love. And I feel as though it might be good for each of us to say what we think each one is before we discuss it. But I definitely think that if anyone that is listening feels that we're wrong, if you feel like you don't agree, that is completely fine. Just let us know in the comments, and we can discuss it within the comments or in chat right now if you guys want. And yeah, we're not here to offend or hurt anyone, but these are our ideas and our experiences. That's important to remember. All right, so let's get Mooch to talk about. I was gonna say, I don't know, because like I know you have a lot to say about this.
Oh yeah, I'm ready for this.
I know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if you realize, Mooch, but like you are the reason why we have this question. Because
Yes.
remember when we have that convo when I was like, "Yeah, I'd rather have a cat than a boyfriend." And you're like,
Yep.
"Yeah." So
I was just gonna say I'm gonna tie my answer. I'm gonna go from people, and I'm probably gonna tie the cat thing into it because it does play a huge role. Like for me personally, I think everything, and you guys have heard me even with the beginning questions. Your questions all tie into this, Blue. It's really good. Like I like to earn shit, like everything. I don't care what it is. Like I feel like I have to earn it. And let me tell you something, okay? Mooching shit is still earning it because you got to ask. Do you get it? So my point being is that like I think I prefer earned love because here's the thing: when you have your better half, let's talk about people for instance first. When you have something where you know, Mike, if you go out, you want to date this girl, you're trying to get this girl to look at you. If she's not seeing you off the cuff, off the bat, you have to step up your game. And this doesn't mean just like showing her like what you got and money. That's not what I'm saying. You actually have to show her why would she want to look at you, right? You have to earn that. And when you show her and she sees what your potential is, she's seeing more than just the potential of your outside looks. She's looking at what you're capable of, how you got her attention, how you got her to look this way, right? So like you have to earn that respect. And it's love, respect, however you want to go down the line. That's all very important in life. Doesn't matter if you're talking about something with work where it's respect and work, or it's love with your better half. Point being is, same thing goes when we were talking, me and Luca online, about the cats versus the dog lovers right out there. Myself personally, listen, cats are a lot like people. Okay. There's sometimes you come home from work, you throw your keys on the counter and you're like, hey, what's up? And that person doesn't want nothing to do with you today. You know what I mean? You're like, yeah, I'm glad you had a rough day. Mine was worse. Be on your way. So it's like, that's a cat, right? And then there's sometimes you come home and that cat just snuggles right up. Like, you know, I grew up with cats. I don't have any pets now, but we grew up with cats. And cats, you do have to, you got to earn their love and respect. Whereas, don't get me wrong, it's not bashing dogs or anything. Like, there's a lot of dog lovers. People are going to like kill me in the audience for this because there's probably more dog lovers. But like, dog just loves you day one. That's just the way it is. Like, you giving me kibbles and bits, I love your ass. You know, it is what it is. And that's fine. It's great. But I think when it comes down to it, and I think I could have gotten even deeper with it, but like, to be realistic, I think you want to earn a human being's love and you want to earn that pet's love, because like that's something that you cherish so much more than when someone's just like, oh, I love you. And you're like, oh, I've just loved you since like, when, you know, people are like, oh, we're high school sweethearts. We loved each other since 6th grade. And it's like, well, a lot of times the people I've seen that have had that, even if they stay together, they're the ones that have the most hard time staying together. You know what I mean? It's like, I think it's when you see the guy or the girl that goes out and reaches out to find that better half, that's the connection that they both worked hard to make it work. And when you both work hard to make something work, usually it works, you know, not just one half is unconditional and the other one is like, okay, I guess I'll settle. You know what I mean? So I think earned love is definitely the way I would attack that. That's the way I feel.
That's interesting because a lot of the time people would say that if you feel like you have to earn the love, then does that person really love you, you know? Right, because people who want to be loved unconditionally usually means that, or so the definition that I often hear is that it just means that they love you without strings. Like if something were to change, they would still love you. And I kind of feel like, I mean, it sounds amazing, and for some people it might be fairy tale, so who knows? But let's say, for example, if you do earn that love because you're a hard worker and you, I don't know, were successful, and so they loved you because, wow, like this person does it. Like, what if tomorrow you lose all that shit and it's just you? Like, then what? Like, what would you say to someone who? I guess there's like levels, right? Because there's the whole I love this person because of who they are. Like, just because you have the attribute doesn't necessarily mean you'll have the outcome in the world. Like, if you're a hard worker, it doesn't necessarily mean that you'll be in this position in the real world, right? So I guess there's that. But I don't know if I'm understanding earn loved the way that you're describing it, Mooch, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, but here's the thing, ready? Let's just use your analogy, what you just said. The person that does work harder, maybe they don't get to the end result of like what they set out to do, but that person that worked hard every day will get a lot farther than most people. And the one thing you got to remember about unconditional sometimes is taken for granted. And that's the problem, because then what happens is, what do you see from a lot of people in their 30s and 40s? What are they always saying? It's on TV. So even if you're in your 20s and you're like, I don't know what he's talking about, bullshit, it's on every fucking day. And like the thing about it is, they're like, he doesn't pay attention to me. She doesn't pay attention to me. That's that unconditional love that got relaxed. Okay. And that's what happens a lot of times with, like, you know, again, you go back to the pets, like, with the dogs are just unconditional love. And it's like, you have to, like, if you just like ignore the cat in the room for a while, like that cat's going to come up and actually like even like hiss at you. Like, what's your problem? Like, I can't even do what Luca would do. Luca would be like, what's your problem? Like, you know, so like, I mean, don't get me wrong though, Blue, you made a good point. And like what I said yours is, I think, the safer answer. And that's not bad. By the way, that is not bad, but it's safe when someone says, hey, Blue, guess what? TiVo over there, let's say we were all younger. TiVo over there, he likes you. You'd be like, what, really? I didn't know that. Dude, he's loved you for like 3 years. You'd be like, really? Well, you're like, that's a safe bet. I can go out. He's gonna be all over me when I go. You know what I mean? But like if you walk down a different alley, you never know. You know what I'm trying to say? And I don't mean to shout out for TiVo, but I mean I always use the respected half's name. So it's like, you know, it is what it is. But like you have to realize that when it's unearned, you got to earn that shit. Like it's not taken for granted, and love's not taken for granted, and love can fizzle out. So you got to work at that shit every day.
That's the thing. Yeah. If Luca said, "Lil Blue, I'm in love with you," right?
Oh.
I'll be like, "Oh, okay. Well, I feel like this person might, if I'm attracted to Luca, let's say, for example, and I'll be like, all right, I'm going to give this person a chance because they came up to me and they said, I love you. As opposed to like, let's say if someone told me TiVo loved me and I would like be like, okay. And they were like, oh yeah, they loved you for this many years, but they didn't do anything about it. There's probably like everyone takes things differently, right? Because there's probably a chance where I'll probably be like, nah, I'm good, you know, because they didn't go into it themselves. Like what? I don't know. Or if someone if let's say, for example, I said to you, hey, if I tell you that I love you because you, I don't know, are a great ranter, let's say, like you feel like that's better than if someone just said, if I just came up to you and said, yo, I just love you. There's no reason behind it. Like what? You don't understand what I'm saying?
I know what you mean. I mean, I guess like it's hard to say
Because
like when you find out someone likes you for whatever it is, right? In your case, you're using, and I liked how you did that. If someone likes you, we're using the word talents, right? So they like you for your talent, this and that. But let me tell you something. That's an amazing thing when someone pays somebody a compliment like that, or if it's love. In the case of like you're dating somebody and like that person loves you, right? You just get like all like, what, really? Wow. You know what I mean? Like that's that, because people feel like, I think all of us as a whole feel like we're not loved, right? Or no one really likes you. You don't know that until someone actually strange walks up to you and says to you, hey, you know that person likes you? Like then you're like, what, really? You know, like not me. That's impossible. It's impossible. And like meanwhile, like I just think, like I said, that's why I think it's a safe answer to have unconditional, because it's safe when you know someone already loves you. Like when someone says it. But then, like, all of a sudden, when you work with somebody for so long, like, let's go back to your whole thing, like, oh, Mooch, I like the way you rant, or I love the way you rant. Like, you have to understand, when someone you've been working with for a long time then tells you years later, like, that means a lot more to me than someone who just came out and told me my second day of work. You know what I mean? Like,
I see.
You see what I'm saying?
You feel like if it's more real, if there's like more substance to the love. Yes. I understand. Okay. So then that makes sense, because I feel like, so what you're talking about is love at first sight kind of bullshit, right? Where you're just like, like, do I know you?
Right. Like love at first sight is complete attraction on the outside. And don't get me wrong, there's something to that. I do think you have to stare at this person for a long time, right? So it doesn't matter if it's the person you're gonna spend the rest of your life with as far as marriage, or if it's someone even like a boss told me this a long time ago. They're like, if you think when people hire people, that's why they say first impressions count. Like when you go and see someone for the first time, you better look your best. Because if you don't, like who wants to hire someone that they don't want to look at for the next 20 years? Right, you're going for a permanent position and you dress like a slob and you don't care. Like there was a lot of people that used to podcast, and I used to tell them all the time, and a lot of people that are in the chat will know this. I used to say to them off air, I was like, guys, when you do a live cam podcast, like if it's in your room, that's fine. Make your bed, fold your clothes. People had their messy bed. You remember back in the day with podcasting, people just had like a messy room behind them, like shit all over the place. Either shut the camera off or like make your bed, like make the room presentable, because people are watching you. Nobody wants to tune into a mess. You know, like that's the whole thing. So like I think I kind of went off there. I went off on a Mooch rant.
It's okay.
But like,
very nice.
You know what I mean? Like I just think like that's the way it is. Like you need to be presentable. So like whether it's when you're taking a girl out for the first time, that car better be clean.
Oh,
you better be clean. You know what I mean? You can't just show up and be like, oh, I'm sorry, just move those wrappers on the floor, hon. Just move that shit over. It's fine. That ketchup won't stain your shoes. You know, and it's like you can't do that. Like, but there's people who live their life that way, and they just think because that's the way they live. That's the way life is, and it's not. I think first impressions are a huge deal. Again, I went off on a tangent.
What about you, Luca? How do you feel about, what do you think the definition behind unconditional love and earned love are?
Well, okay, so unconditional love is, I think it's loving someone no matter what, despite any faults they may have, as long as they're not hurting you, that is. And earned love is when you work to prove yourself worthy of being loved, which is, I mean, I may have said that thing about cats loving you unconditionally, but and pretty much all of my relationships, and that includes friendships as well, I like to work hard to prove to the person that I'm worth loving and that they can rely on me and trust me and that they can know that I will love them back and take care of them, you know. And I think a lot of times relationships fail because people they get lazy, you know, they get lazy and it's
Yep.
like, well, you know, my partner, I've been with them for this long, so they have to love me. Like, you know, they just love me. But I stopped putting in work and I stopped, you know, showing them how much they meant to me. It's just they just complacent, and
Mm-hmm.
it's like if any of you have seen the movie Gone Girl, and you know, Amy's like, oh, Nick actually expected me to love him for who he was. He stopped trying, and that's not okay. And that's what happens in a lot of relationship. You get too comfortable and you stop trying. I
Hmm.
like I like working for that love, and I think it has more substance to it, you know, when you work for it. And it's like I've met people and I've dated people who like after a month were like, "Oh, I love you." I'm like, "But you don't know me. You haven't done anything to to show." Or I have like I don't get it. Like I don't get it. I don't believe you. You know, I just I don't believe you. You know, I don't believe you. And especially if you're in a relationship with someone and they just like, "Well, I love you, but I'm going to stop like doing nice things for you or giving you anything or going out or taking you out or any of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like I love you and we're together." It's like, okay, well, I mean, I don't want to say that you have to prove yourself to someone, but in a sense you kind of have to, because if you don't, then how do they know that it's real? How do they know that what you're feeling is what you're actually feeling? So, and I work hard. You know, I work hard in all of my relationships and I work hard in all of my friendships. And it feels amazing when after all that work, it pays off and the other person, they love you and they're sweet to you and they trust you and they confide in you and it's good. And you know, you're like, I worked hard for this. I deserve this because I worked hard for it.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
I kind of feel like, so there's this thing, right, where I feel like there's a difference between if you're in love with someone and if you are upkeeping a relationship, because I feel like relationships do require upkeep, whether it's friends where you know, go and you talk to people, and make sure that they're doing okay every now and again. You check in with them, or you'll be like, let you make an effort to hang out with them, or relationships where you know, continue to do the things that you used to do before, and you sort of like make an effort to communicate and, you know, let them know your feelings and just all that stuff. Like, I feel like relationships take work in general. So I kind of feel like if you feel that your love requires a particular list of things, it doesn't necessarily have to be unconditional love, but there is some kind of, you cannot decide, often you cannot decide if you are in love with this person. Like, if you're in love with them, you're in love with them. I, at least I feel like, and if you fall out of love with them, then you do. Like, there's no, you can't be like, you know what, I'm gonna love this person because that's what I want to do. As much as we all would appreciate that, there's often, that's not the case. And I feel as though a lot of the times people confuse how you feel about someone with what people are doing for you or what you should be doing for others, right? And I don't know, I feel as though, while I agree with a lot of the points that you guys are making, I don't know if you're in love with someone, you need to earn that person's love. Because if you're in love with someone and that person's not in love with you, that's it. Like, you're not gonna be able to, change their feelings about it. If they don't love you, they don't love you. Now, if there's a chance, I see where that whole like earn loved comes in, where you're just like, I'm gonna show you I'm worth loving, and then like maybe something blossoms from there. um and I do see where you need to upkeep the relationship with a significant other, so that there's no one-sidedness. But I guess I kind of do feel like there's some sort of unconditional love sometimes, somewhere in places that you might not always see unless you're always watching a movie. But I don't know. Maybe it's just me that I'm just like a hopeless romantic. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I just, even if I was in love with someone and they weren't in love with me back, I think even if they just loved me as a friend, that would be good for me. And you know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, I don't even believe in, to be honest, I don't believe in unconditional love. There's always going to be conditions to however someone feels about you. It's just how it is. You could love someone completely and truly and deeply, and there's always going to be a condition to it.
Yeah, the other thing is you really shouldn't stress out a lot. Like I hear a lot of single people say this, and a lot of my friends recently got married too. And you don't just like, nobody's like, hey, what are you doing next Thursday? Oh, next Thursday I got to go to the mall and do this and this. What are you doing next Friday? Oh, next Friday I got down on the. I'm gonna go meet my future wife on next Friday. Why? What are you doing? Like nobody says that, right? So don't freak out about like, oh, this relationship didn't work and this didn't work out. I'm doomed. I'm this. I'm that. You're not anything. You will walk through your course of life. And you will find that person. I know this is the most annoying saying of all time, but you will know when you know. And that's a dumb thing to say, but it's so true. It's when you meet that other person and that person's faults and the things they do that are gross actually don't piss you off, that's when you know. All this other stuff, and it's hard to put it into words to be like, well, how do you, I can't tell you. You can't tell someone else. Nobody can do that. All I can say is you ask anybody who's been married for 50 years, but like, did you leave that day and know that you were going to meet your wife? And you're like, no, I had no idea she was going to, like, we just hit it off and blah, blah. And then they tell you a long-winded story about how everything went great, but not everything's great, but you'll know when you know. So if you're single and you're listening to this, because like Matty Beast was really funny. He's like, I'm married with 2 kids and this love thing sounds complicated. You know what I mean? So it's like, it is complicated, but the thing that you have to know is don't think about it. Like love is either what you're going to do and find in marriage or whatever it is you want to do is going to happen regardless. It's the same thing when we went back to sleeping, right? Like tomorrow's going to come and the person you're going to marry will be in your future. You just haven't run into that person yet. So there's nobody in the world who's been married and was like, oh yeah, I knew I was going to marry this person the day before I met him. No. What? No. But people freak like that, right? People freak out. They keep looking at the clock. They're like, wait a minute, I'm this old and I've been dating for this long and this person was no good. And that doesn't mean anything. That has nothing to do with the future.
See, that has a lot to do with society and the pressures that we put on people to do things by a particular time or age, you know, and that sucks because you can't live your life if you have that weighing on you. Like oftentimes the people that are not looking are the ones that find it, to be honest. And it sounds so hard and it sounds so stupid, but it's true. Like guys and gals and everyone in between, folks, like don't worry about what other people are thinking you should do or what you were told that you're supposed, like just do you, live your life. You'll be a lot happier, you know? And if you feel like you don't want that, then you don't need it. You know, you're not going to be able to truly love someone if you feel as though you did it because you had to.
True.
Just saying.
Very nice. Very nice.
It's so funny. But like, I feel like we will, in every relationship, this is not only love. We're not only talking about love with like romantic love. We're also talking about friends. We're also talking about family, because all this stuff is intertwined. Like you have to give people, if you love them, if you care for them, you need to show them that. You need to communicate that, because people often forget that actions speak louder than words, yes, but like words count too. Don't forget. Like if you feel like you're working hard for your example, your children, and you're trying to provide for them, tell them you love them. It's important for them to hear that. It's important for your significant other to hear that you love them. Don't just think, oh, but I'm bringing all this money in. I buy my wife whatever she wants. Yeah, if you haven't told your wife you love her in like a year, then something's wrong. There's more to it. There's more to all these things, guys. Just saying.
So true.
I don't know where. Okay, so we kind of went off on a little tangent here, but it's fine. That's what we do. Do you have anything else to add, Luca or Mooch?
Nope.
No, I think we rocked that question.
If any of you feel that we did not, I feel like we rocked that question, he says.
Yeah, we did. We just destroyed it.
If anyone feels as though we didn't cover a particular section of this, or if you feel like you need some, have something to add, definitely throw it down below in the comments if you're listening to this later. And if you feel like there's another aspect to this that we can cover in another episode, let us know. We are always open to adding people's ideas to this podcast. Thank you. I appreciate that. We all love you back. The live chat is really interesting to have too, everyone. So if you can make it live, definitely come through. It's a lot of fun getting everyone's ideas in the mix and reading what everyone has to say. Let's move on to our next segment, where we will be saying lots of funny stories in Girl, Let Me Tell You. And of course, here we have stories that might have happened this week, might have happened last week. Who knows? All we know is that it's something you'll want to hear. So I'll go first this week because, I just need to get this off my chest. So, girl, let me tell you, as you guys know, I am in the city. I take lots of public transportation. That means I'm in a bus with lots of other people. That's fine. That's cool. No problem. I don't know if you were here last week, but last week I was talking about how people want to sit next to me and put their butt cheeks on my leg. That's not cool, guys. I will say it again because it keeps happening, especially in the summertime. Your butt is probably sweaty as fuck. Do not put it on my leg. It happened again. I'm just saying. But let me just tell you about. Okay, so I'm on the bus. We cool. We're riding. No problem. I'm like, hurry up, bus. I want to get home. I want to get home so I can stream. All right. I'm just chilling there, and a guy walks in, and he's playing his radio, and I'm like, okay, maybe when he gets on, he'll lower it. No. He swipes his Metro card. He sits down, and he's playing his radio obnoxiously loud, and he's just there listening, bobbing his head, and I'm like, oh Lord, why today? Why are you doing this to me? It must be so that I can speak about it on Speak, huh? Yeah, okay, we're just gonna say that. So I'm just thinking to myself, is this the 80s? Are we just gonna walk around with boomboxes and just do earphones not exist? Because last time I checked, I have 2 pairs. They're really cheap. You can definitely, I'm pretty sure that boombox or whatever the fuck he was holding was definitely more expensive than a pair of earphones. I'm just gonna say, because it wasn't an old school boombox. It was one of those Bluetooth connecting little speakers. He had it on his waist, he was some kind of fucking, what are you doing, dude? So I'm just there sitting. I'm like, all right, let me turn up my music and maybe it'll help this fucking guys drown that shit out. I mean, it wasn't bad music. I'm just gonna say it was pretty good music. He was playing some side. I was like, that's nice, but I have a headache and I don't want to hear your shit. So yeah, I'm just sitting there and he's just listening to stuff. He turns it up louder and I'm like, you motherfucker. So I turn up my stuff louder, but then he starts singing along with the song. You cannot sing. Why are you doing this to me? Please stop. And the bus driver says nothing to him and everyone's just sitting there nothing's happening. I'm like, am I the only one that sees this guy with karaoke night in this bus just singing his heart out to this fucking song? No, everyone's just sitting there acting like nothing's going on. I don't understand, guys. Look, if you have a speaker, do not play it out in the open. Go to the park, have a nice little picnic with yourself and play the music there. Go to your house and play the music there. Do not play it on the bus or the train. You are not DJ. Stop. This is not the club. Stop. Just saying. All right. That is all for me today. What the fuck?
Okay.
That was great.
Oh, God. All right. Luca, you take the floor now.
All right. Girl, let me tell you.
Tell me.
Boy, let me tell you. Okay, so I like to get, I like to take care of myself, okay? I like to get my hair done. I like to get my nails done. Like, that's just what I do. I go to the nail salon like twice a month, and I get my nails done every 2 weeks. It's just what I like to do, right? So I'm at the hair salon yesterday, minding my whole ass business as per usual, right? And this lady next to me, as we're getting our hair dried, she's like doing the most, okay? First of all, she's playing her music too damn loud, okay? Second of all, she's like smacking on some gum or chewing, like eating something, right?
Oh God.
And she's shaking her leg to the music, and I'm just looking at her like, what are you doing? What is going on? Are you not aware of everyone else in this fucking salon? And I'm like, you know what? Let me just like turn my music up, like let me just turn my body, like let me just not look at her because this is stressing me out. But then she's looking at me, right? Like she's looking at me, and I'm like, what are you looking at? Like what's going on? Like my dryer stops, like I have to put it up, and I'm like, okay. I'm like sitting there waiting for my beautician to notice me, and I'm like, all right, I'll just turn the dryer back on. So as I turn to like put the dryer back on, she's like staring at me as I'm turning the dryer on, and I'm just doing it slowly, and I'm looking at her like, what, bitch, what are you looking at? Like, why are you looking? I don't understand. Like, I don't understand, bitch. I don't understand. Like, why are you looking at me? I don't get it. Like, what's going on? And then after she's done staring me down, she then proceeds to continue smacking her lips, chewing whatever she's chewing. Then she starts singing, and then she's like shaking her fucking leg. And I'm like, oh my God, if my beautician does not get over here right the fuck now, I'm going to snap. Like, I don't understand why people are so extra in public. Like, what is that? Like, when I go out, I'm like quiet and I'm respectful of other people's time and space, and I just keep it to myself. I'm not trying to like do anything extra. Like, you're not going to hear me singing out loud in public or dancing in public or shaking my fucking leg or shaking my hands or any of that stuff, okay? You're not going to see me doing that. So every time I see someone doing that, I'm like, what are you doing, fam? Like, what are you doing? Are you not aware that some people don't want to see that shit, okay? Like, can you, like, just not? Like, can you not? Like, I just don't get it. Like, I really, it's, like, one of my biggest pet peeves. Like, people who, like, just do too much in public hurt me so much in the sense that I just want to choke them. I just want to choke them because I just don't want to see that, okay? I have a lot of pet peeves. A lot of things bother me. So when I see that stuff, it's like, please, just... And it's every time I go to the salon, like this, every time I go, she's there. I don't understand. Are we on the same schedule? Are we on the same schedule? Because I talked to my beautician outside of going there, and I just text her randomly, like, hey, can I come? Because I've been going to her since I was 6, so like I have special treatment. But every time I'm there, she's there, and she's always trying to talk to me. And I'm like, please don't talk to me. If I'm in public, I don't want you talking to me, okay? That's just how, like, leave me alone. Let me mind my business. Let me listen to my music and just, like, keep to myself. Please do not interact with me in any way and try to relate to me, especially when all you have to say is nonsense. Like, going to the hair salon, it always hurts a little bit. Like, I always leave exhausted because people are annoying. They are so annoying. I just, ugh.
Oh my Lord. I mean, I'm just saying, like, it's not a coincidence that we both had like public obnoxious people in public stories this week. I'm just saying, like, the summer must just be bringing the weirdos out. But yeah, Moochie, if you would like to take the floor.
I'm totally ready for this segment, but I like to call it, bruh. Let me tell you.
Hey, don't be changing our names. Hey. Excuse me,
Bruh,
sir.
let me tell you. No, for real. So I'm going to agree with you guys in a sense of, like, I think what Luca touched on a little bit, like time. Like, my time is valuable, especially during the work week. Like, I don't have a lot of time. Work is work. And like, when I have to run out for like lunch and I have to do errands, like when you get older, lunch is anything but lunch. Lunch is like, I got to do like 8 other like errands and try to eat while I'm doing them so I can get back to work on time. So I try to eat healthy. That's my thing. But listen, life is life, right? Let's not, I love it when people who are healthy are like, oh, I don't go to McDonald's. I don't go to Wendy's. Liar. So we already know they lie. So I had to get back to work. I was late as hell. I was like, oh my God. So there's a McDonald's, and this McDonald's had a drive-through, and the drive-through had 2 lanes, right? It was 2-lane drive-through. That means faster service. 2-lane drive-through means faster service. So listen, my luck, flip the coin. I'm like, all right, I'm going on the inside lane, because the inside lane, like a horse track, If you're on the inside, should be faster, right? I can make my left turn a little quicker. So I go ahead and I go do that. Get in the lane. Who do I get behind? Somebody who has like 75 children. They ordered everything. I swear to God, I put the window down because I was like, I want to hear this. She got everything, and not only did she get everything, like when you go to McDonald's and you order a cheeseburger, take the cheeseburger. Just take it the way it is. You take it the way it is. It's dried onions, 2 pickles from last week, some ketchup, some mustard, some cheese on a burger, and out. Okay, you're out. No, this person was like, hold the dry onions. Does that come with pickles? Yes, I'm going to use your words. That's been coming with pickles for like 35 years. Where have you been? Of course it comes with pickles. Hold the pickles. All right. Then we got to the frappe or the low whatever that yogurt thing they have there. They're like, well, I only want blueberries and hold the granola and this and that. And I'm like, listen, the whole point of this is fast food, right? So like, I got to agree with you. Like the thing that gets me and irks me is when people are purposefully in front. Like, listen, when I'm in front of you and I see you're in a hurry, let's say you're the girl that Luca was at with her getting her nails done. And there's a person behind me tapping her foot, being like, I gotta go. I will actually be conscientious of my surroundings, and I'll either let the person that I know in a hurry is go ahead of me, or I'll hurry my ass up, because why would I want to start something? Like, I know that this person's in a hurry. I don't need to be there and be like, what's that special sauce made on a Big Mac again? I really, really want to know right now. No, I just order it and you get on your way. So I guess like my biggest pet peeve, and like you say, like people get on your nerves, is like, it seems like whenever you're in a hurry in life, that's when people slow you down. So it's like, I was like, my God, I could not wait to get out of this line. I was literally, I'm not joking with anybody on this show, I was in the drive-through fast food line for about 20 minutes. I could have went to the store, bought a thing of ground beef, brought it home, made the burger, ate it.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, drove to work in a faster amount of time than this lady with 85 kids in her car. I don't know what was going on, but bruh, let me tell you.
Oh, Lord.
There you go. Thank you.
I just feel like, see, you're the type of person that I would be happy to be behind, because if you were, no one is considerate like that. And like, no one's considerate about the people around them sometimes. And I just feel like, dude, where are all the normal people at? Like,
yes, where are the normal people, right? Like Luca said, I would never make those, like, I would never sing out. First of all, there's a lot of things I can do. I cannot sing. So I'm not going to sing in front of you. I don't care what the song is. It doesn't matter how much I think I'm good at it or I'm not. I mean, shit, when I was younger, I was like, you know what? I talk really fast. I tried my damnedest to keep up with an Eminem. Like, he did a spit. He spit this one, like, verse out. It was so fast, and I was like, shit, I was like, my friends always tell me I can talk fast, and I've actually lost a step as I get older. But I used to talk really fast when I was younger. I was like, I wonder if I can be the Italian Eminem. I don't know if I can pull this shit off. I was like, someone drop a beat. Drop that beat. But like, so, yeah, you just, like, Blue, you kind of nailed it. Like, whatever happened to people being considerate? You know what I mean? Like, where's consideration gone? Like, if I see, like, that happened the other day in line, right? I was at the grocery store, and I had, like, we're in the fast express lane, like 14 items or less. But the person behind me had 2 items. And I'm like, would you like to go in front of me? And she was like, yeah, thank you. Like, you have 2 items. How long is it going to take her to swipe 2 cans and get the fuck out, right? So I'm like, let's just do this, because I'm going to be a lot longer than her. So let her go. Like, I mean, guys, like, take a little bit longer. This is another thing people need to realize. An old timer told me this. This is so true. You know, when you're driving through the mall parking lot and you're like, I need a spot that's real up close. I need a spot that's up close. One guy heard me bitching and complaining when I walked into the mall. I was like, man, I can never find a spot. This dude was like 90. He's like, excuse me, young man. He's like, can I tell you something? And I was like, yeah. He's like, do you have 2 legs that work perfectly fine? I'm like, yep. He's like, then enjoy your legs and park as far as you can and enjoy that walk into the mall. And ever since that man told me that, my ass parks as far as is humanly possible away from it. And I walk my ass into the mall.
Nice.
Because you know what? There's going to be a time when you need that spot up front, when your legs don't work right. And let those people get those spots. Be considerate to people.
Yeah.
And I don't understand. Like, that's the thing. Like, whether it's yelling or screaming or singing next to somebody, like, be considerate to your surroundings. And I think Blue nailed it.
Yeah.
Oh,
exactly.
boy. Look, people, we say this every episode, and it's most likely that the people listening to us probably don't have this problem, but, like, get your shit together. All right. The same applies for when we're outside, and, you know, like, just do it. I know it's summer. I know it's warm in particular places. Like, at least for me, like, don't go nuts because it's like a nice day. Come on. Let's just keep it let's do that. All right, let's move on to our next segment. It's our serious topic. So here we might get a little talk about things that might rub someone's feathers the wrong way. We love you, so don't take it seriously, please. Okay. Our next topic is disrespectful people who are shocked when you snap back. Look, I'm just gonna say, if you don't know what snap back means, like I'll explain it, or maybe, you know what, I'm gonna let Luca explain this because she is Mrs. Snapback. Like, let's be real here. Luca, take the floor.
Oh, snapback is when someone comes at you and then you respond in kind. That's basically the gist of it. And my nickname on Twitter for a while was snapback Luca. People have actually like said things like, "Oh, Luca's a savage. Luca's a savage," because like I don't let people talk to me any way they want to. I don't let people disrespect me. I always speak up. And I think that's what some like I don't think people are used to that. Like I don't think people are used to women especially speaking up for themselves.
Yeah.
And I get that because I've seen like a lot of girls like let people walk all over them, but I won't do that. I will speak up because I try to treat everyone with respect. It's the way I was raised, and it's just what I believe in. You know, people should be treated with respect until they show you that they don't deserve to be treated with respect, and then you can put them in their fucking place. Like, I don't understand. Like, I used to get it a lot when I started Twitter. Like, people would always come at me, especially a lot, like, you know, we're all in the gaming community, so, and we're all Team Xbox for the most part. And it's like I would get all these PlayStation guys like coming at my throat. And then when I snapped back at them, they took a step back like, what? I didn't expect you to destroy my life, basically, like that. And then like ever since then, it's like dwindled down quite a bit. But occasionally I'll get like an idiot just coming at me saying stupid things to me. And then I snap back. And then they do this thing where they're like, well, I was just saying, okay, well, like you don't have to be so hostile. Like, why are you being so mean? Like, what? You came at me first. You attacked me first. You bothered me first. You tried to be cute. You tried to be condescending. Or you tried to be snappy. And then when I snapped back and I dug your grave, basically, you're like, oh, well, you know, it was just a joke. You need to calm down. I was calm until you told me to calm down. And now I'm just going to continue ranting and bitching at you because of this. Like, don't talk to me like you don't have any sense. Like, don't talk to me. And this mostly applies to people who I don't know. Like my friends, we'll all joke around with each other. We'll all like be assholes to each other and stuff, right? But if I don't know you and you say something that makes me look at you sideways, I'm gonna say something. Like I will always speak up. I will always speak up, whether it's for myself or for my friends. I will always say something. I don't like people who think they can disrespect me and that there won't be any consequences to that. You are not allowed to. You cannot disrespect me. I will not allow myself to be disrespected. I will argue with anyone, and I've gotten into arguments with so many people. Like so many people, even like Xbox people, I've gotten into arguments with them and we've unfollowed each other because I'm like, you're not going to talk to me like you don't have any sense, fam. You better take that ish somewhere else. And, you know, like sometimes I'll be talking to my friends. I'm like, oh, I don't really like that person. Or, oh, I got into an argument with them. And they're like, well, who haven't you fought with, Luca? Is the real question. Who have you not fought with? I'm like, you know what? You got a point there because I've literally gotten into an argument with everyone. But it's always funny to me because there's like occasionally there's some people who after I'm done like, you know, bitching at them and they leave me alone, they'll come back. But like in a different manner, they'll approach me differently and they'll be nice and we'll joke around. Like there's a few people on Twitter who I've like bitched at and then they've been like, you know, oh, hey, you know, you basically like humiliated me, but like you were right. So, hey, let's be friends. And I'm like, all right, let's be friends then. Because I just need you to come at me with just a little bit of respect. That's all.
I agree. I feel like let's just, okay. I think that if you were raised a particular way, if you weren't raised by wolves, I think you would know what being disrespectful looks like, sounds like, is like, you know, like it's kind of pretty obvious if you're going to say something to someone that you know is, I don't know, racist, sexist, I don't know, kind of like a jab at someone. Like, don't say that fucking shit because the way that they react is completely and totally going to be on you. If they react in a particular way and you feel like, oh my God, this is an overreaction, you shouldn't have said shit in the first place. Like, you don't know what that person is going through. You don't know if, let's say you're the 10th person that said the same bullshit. Like, if they snap at you, I mean, too late. Like, it is what it is. Like, you cannot control how someone feels. You cannot control how they react. So don't fucking tell me to calm the fuck down. Are you kidding? Like, are you kidding? Now I'm not going to calm down because you decided to tell me to calm down. So thanks for that, bitch. And then, I mean, I'm just going to say, like, why do people think that they can get away with these things? Because if someone disrespects you, let's say, like, are you going to not say anything? Are you going to, at what point does someone continuously let things slide? Because there are some things that I don't even bother saying anything about because whatever, I'll see something and I'm just like, I'll let, like, it's fine. I'm not even gonna get into that. But there are times where I'm just like, no, I'm sick of the same bullshit of like letting people say whatever they want or letting people just like, even if it's not a big deal, I believe that if I stop it right here when it's not a big deal, then you're not going to continue and make it a big deal. That's what I believe. I think that if I nip it now, then later we won't have such a big issue. And if you feel like me nipping it right now is a problem and you want to like leave, get the fuck out. I'm fine with that. I don't need you around. But if you feel like you want to be a grown up and talk about it, I'm also fine with that. Cause like come on, you know, I'm the type of person that I'm understanding. If there was a miscommunication, if you feel like, oh shit, my bad, I'm going to apologize. That's all well and dandy. But I'm going to let you know right now, like, don't fuck with me. Okay? You're not going to like it.
Mm-hmm.
What were you going to say, Luca?
I was just like, wow, that's so attractive.
Thank you.
That's so great. That's awesome. Things you don't hear on other podcasts. Awesome.
I mean, look, Luca, you already know. Like,
I know.
I got you. But you don't need me, but I'm just saying I got you. Like, look.
And the same goes for you.
You girls should take this show to after midnight. This shit could get crazy. This is like speaking
late nights with Blue and Luca. What about you, Mooch? Tell us a little bit about you and like what you have experienced with this.
Yeah, no, I mean, actually, I think you guys both hit really, really good subjects. Myself personally, with the whole snapback, and I get it, is I don't like it like on Twitter when people like, you know, listen, Twitter is an open forum for public social use, right? So you can get on there and you can speak your mind, and it's a free country, it's a free internet, and you can go ahead and say whatever you want. But here's the thing. When you're in a community or a tight group of people that we all know each other, and everybody knows everybody, whether you're on one side or the other, everybody kind of knows who everybody is. When you go make a blanket statement, you know, when somebody just makes a blanket statement out of nowhere and you know exactly what that statement is directed to, you know, that's not really just you being like, oh, you know, today's Sunday, I feel like barbecuing. People are like, you know, Mooch is going to barbecue today. Hey, good for him, right? That's just his opinion. It's what he's doing. But when someone's like, you know, imagine if I tweeted out, and I'm picking on Blue here, like, you know what? I love everybody that podcast. I think everybody's so great, but I hate the color blue. You'd be like, what?
Ooh.
What? Right? Like, who is he talking about me? You're like, well, you're the only one named Blue. You know, so it's like, my thing is just that, like I try to always, like, hit that person back with, like, another fact. Like, be like, well, listen, the reason that I think you feel that way, and it's not most times it's not really directed at me, but it's directed at, you know, just the whole community. And I'm like, listen, you're entitled to your opinion, but if you don't like what the community's doing or you don't like what this certain person is doing, that's the beauty of the free internet, is you don't have to listen. You don't have to tune in. So sometimes if I didn't understand the snap back thing, is sometimes I snap back with a positive thing. Like I think that's what Luca was saying. Sometimes she'll snap back with something nice, even though somebody was kind of being rude to her. And it's like, that's sometimes sometimes when you're nice, people take that as being like sarcastic as shit, right? So, and that's true. And sometimes it is coming off that way back. But I mean, it's just, I myself personally, when it comes to Twitter and it comes to YouTube, there's a lot of people who have a lot of content out there. And there's a lot of stuff I really, really like. And there's a lot of stuff I really, really don't. The stuff I don't like, I don't mention those people. I don't talk about those people. I don't make derogatory comments about those people. I don't tweet in just about those people. I don't hashtag people. I just mind my business. Like, and people go, how can you say that? You're so I'm opinionated on the industry, the media, and Sony. Sometimes I think they do some really shady shit. And I think Microsoft is at fault a lot of times. It's just like they're just so irresponsible and lackadaisy. Like but I'm not attacking an individual like that is in our community or someone we talk to. It's the same thing. Like, you watch SportsCenter. SportsCenter was one of the biggest channels to ever promote Tiger Woods, right? And I'm a huge Tiger Woods fan. I think what he did for golf was never done by anybody else, right? But what did SportsCenter do? They brought him up just to tear him down, and I'm like, that's bullshit. And I'm like, listen, what he did, I'm not saying I condone it, but like, you have to like, you don't smear someone's name. You know what I'm saying? Like, so like, when it comes to free speech, remember that it's a right that you have. You know what I mean? Not a privilege. And don't just go out and attack people on Twitter that are in your community or that are working really hard. When someone does something absolutely asinine, yes, you can call them out. Absolutely. I mean, that's what it is. But I mean, sometimes you just tune into your Twitter and you're reading something and you're like, that person's talking about me? I don't even talk to this person. And it's like it's just out of the blue. And it's like that's the stuff that kind of like irks me. And like sometimes that's when I snap back, because I'll snap them back with some facts, or I'll hit them back with something that's like, I don't even know why you're making that comment, considering you don't care for this anyways. You know what I mean? So I mean, I don't know if I actually hit the same subject, but that's kind of how I handle disrespectful.
Like, do you feel like that, like, people doing things like that makes you like, I needed that, like when people like try and, I don't know, I can't even speak, guys. I'm sorry. Disrespect you and sort of kind of try and make you look silly, or like try and make you look as though you don't know what you're talking about. Like, when people do that to you, does it fuel you to keep going, to keep like pushing forward, or like do you feel like it gets you down?
It depends on the context, but I would say usually it makes me want to do more. It fuels me to actually like be more progressive. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to be a little bit more over the top next time, or I'm going to actually talk about that situation, and I will talk about what my fault is on that particular subject, or where I'm actually benefiting from, and like where I think I'm right. And there's certain times that, like, you win some, you lose some, right? I hate to use these chachi like sayings, but they're true. Sometimes I come away and the person's like, oh, you know what? Actually, good point. And there's sometimes where I'm like, all right, you got me on one, but I got you on the other, because this is the way it is. And it's like, it's nothing in the world is absolutes, right? Nothing's 100%. So I don't know. I guess, but to answer your question, Blue, it usually 90% of the time, it drives me to like work harder, push forward, or argue more.
Right.
Yep. Same.
Yeah, same. Like don't you guys realize this? Like, I'm going to tell you something. If you decide to troll, if you decide to talk shit about someone, most likely what you're doing is the complete opposite of what your intent is, and you're just pushing that person, to move forward. Like, you're helping them. Cuz like hey, I don't know if you knew this, but like, advertising, free advertising is a thing. If you're gonna talk about me, you're telling more people about me, so they're gonna probably come and see me. Stupid. Like, are you serious?
Yep, that's true. It's like, let's take Crap, for example. I've heard so many stories about people who are like, yeah, someone was like bitching about Crap, and then I went to go watch his stuff and I ended up liking him. Like, you're just helping people out. And another thing, it's like, I see a lot of stuff on Twitter, and for the most part, I like don't respond. If I see someone making a comment that I don't agree with, I'm like, all right, and I just mind my business, right? Because that's just what it takes. $0 to mind your fucking business. I'm just saying, it takes.
Well, when do you say something? What's your tipping point?
I usually, when someone says something to me, like, I'll make a comment. I'll do like an original post, and I'll make a comment about something, and then some goofball out of nowhere will come and bother me about it, and I'm like, are you kidding me right now? I'm talking about me, myself, and I. I'm talking about me, myself, and I. This is how I feel about it. If you don't agree, that's fine, but you don't have to message me about it, because you're not going to change my mind. And then I always get the whole, well, Twitter's an open forum, and we can respond if we want to. I'm like, what? There's no point in you responding, because I don't care about your opinion. And that always seems to baffle people,
Right.
Well, people always take time out of their day, Luca, to bug you and to say this and that. And not you, Luca, you, anybody, right? But at the same time, they're like, if that's such a waste of time and what they're actually doing to nitpick what you're saying, why are they wasting their time to tell you that you wasted their time? They're wasting more of your time.
It's
And I
like
never understood that.
Like I don't get it. Like I just I don't understand. And I think people are just not used to hearing that like someone telling them that they don't care about their opinion. Like I usually that's how I usually end my conversations with people. I'm like, "Well, I don't really care about your opinion." And they're like, "What?" And that stumps them. Like that's always how I stump people because
Mhm.
it's like for some reason everyone thinks that their opinion matters and that they can have a say in anything
Right.
and it's fine, but it's like your opinion does not always apply to every situation.
Right.
Like there are going to be people who just don't care about how you feel about something, and I know that's a hard pill to swallow, but you need to swallow it and stop bothering me on Twitter. I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, Luca, you're right. You know, the thing is, I watch a lot of videos on YouTube, and I'll either agree or disagree. But I turn around and talk to somebody who's actually in the room with me. I'm like, oh my god, that's crazy because blah. I don't go into their comment section and be like, you're crazy because. No, I mean that. First of all, who cares what I think on this person's channel? That's their channel. They have their followers.
Mhm.
Enjoy the content or don't. Like I said, don't pick up the phone and start picking on people on Twitter and this that. Like that's your own. Like, I don't know. Like, the thing is, here's the problem. You know what I noticed? A lot of people tell me about how busy life is and how hectic life is. If life's so hectic and busy, then why are you bothering people?
Right.
You shouldn't have time for that.
Yep.
You should not have time for that. So leave people alone, mind your own business. I don't understand that. That I never understood, but it is what it is.
I feel as though I haven't gotten yet like direct ads on Twitter that are just like, well, you know, are this and this. Like, I don't know. That hasn't happened yet. I'm sure it will happen, whatever. A lot of the time, I feel like I'm mostly, and I'm not really on Twitter all that much, but when I am, I'll like look through, I don't know, my feed and I'll see some shit. And I don't feel the need to comment if I wasn't in the feed to begin with. But I do feel like I want to sometimes. I'm not gonna lie.
Right.
Because sometimes y'all say some stupid ass fucking shit. And you need to know that that is some stupid ass fucking shit. But you know what? I'm not gonna be the one to tell you because I might not know you or like it's not my place. So I'll keep it moving and I'll know. All right, that person there probably shouldn't talk to them because I will let them know that they said some stupid ass fucking shit. And people don't like when you tell them that. People don't like to hear that they are wrong, that they are saying something that is offensive, that they might not be, like, even if they're not aware of it. I mean, it's important, I think, and I will let everyone know in chat, everyone know that if you're listening to this later, it's important to know that if you're offending someone, you should be aware of this. And if you make the decision to continue to offend people, fine. That says a lot about who you are, then fine. But ignorance is not an excuse, okay?
Right.
Because
Thank
you can definitely ask. You can definitely take into account other people's situations. And just like, if you say something that's offensive and someone says, hey, look, you might want to, you know, not say this. Don't get upset. Don't be angry. And if someone says something that's offensive and you're not quite sure if it's, you know, on purpose, you're not quite sure if it's something that they are doing to hurt others, like maybe take the time to say like, yo, that's offensive, but not really jump on them as though, because while honestly there's a lot of fucking fucked up people out there, sometimes it does as much damage to jump on someone before being like, look, this is a problem, you know. I've had my share of people coming into my chat while I stream and try to troll me, and I noticed that me getting upset and angry gives them what they are looking for, as opposed to just me ignoring them. When I ignore them, they get angry and they leave. And if you feed into that, sometimes that's what they want. And
well, that's
honestly,
what it is. That's why you need to do that, Blue, or you need to do that, or just like honestly. And I know a lot of people don't like to hear, but you just gotta like mute or block them because
right, exactly. If I just block them and not say anything, or say something after they're already blocked, if I say something before, if I'm like, oh my God, why are you guys saying this stuff? Like, first of all, you'll never see me do that shit because I'm not the type. I don't give a fuck what you say. I'm just gonna let you know right now. Like, go ahead, make 1,000 accounts, come in my chat and say some stupid like, oh hi, okay. It's fine. But like, you can be blocked and that's fine too. But like, you're not gonna get a reaction out of me. Not that kind of reaction. Not with that kind of situation. So I don't know. I just kind of feel like there's no need to be disrespectful. And if you don't know that you're being disrespectful, you need to sit down and reevaluate life. Because sometimes it's very obvious. Like, I don't understand.
Yeah. My favorite function is I love the mute button because they don't know that they're muted. So they just keep talking. And it's so funny because there's a couple of people that I follow but are muted by other people I follow. So sometimes I see them responding to like something that's one of my friends said, and I'm just over here laughing like, you're muted, bro. Like they don't even see what you're saying. That's hilarious. It's like yelling out into the wind, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's so funny.
Go
I
ahead.
feel like I should like do that more. Like I should be more chill. Like people are like, you should be chill and like, just ignore people. But the thing is, I just can't help myself sometimes. Like someone says something stupid to me and I just go off. I mean, and then I don't see them again after that. Okay, so it works for me. But
Mm-hmm.
sometimes just blocking them or muting them, that probably is the best way to deal with that.
Right. I see, that's the thing about all that stuff too, because like Twitter is the perfect place for that shit. I'm not gonna lie, like if you are a troll, all the social media stuff that we have now is like you'll be in like troll heaven, because honestly you can make 1,000 different accounts and you can say whatever you want. Like, you're anonymous online for the most part, and the fucked up shit about that is that people do it on purpose because they want to spread the hate. They want to get you to be like upset or angry. And I'm just gonna tell everyone, don't let what a stranger says ruin your day. If it's something that is negative, disrespectful, like, react however you want to react, but move on afterwards. Like, don't let it get to you so deeply that you just feel like you can't do anything about it. If it has no substance, there's no reason to spend any time on it, if it's someone that you might know, or if it's constructive criticism, that's something that is definitely appreciated. That's something that's definitely, at least I feel like, should be taken into account, because you never know what you can learn from someone. But let's be honest, for the most part, we deal with people that are just assholes and just like to be assholes and just want you to give them attention because they're an asshole. And no, it's not gonna happen, asshole. Move on.
Nice.
Find someone else to bother. It's funny though, because it's true, that mute button, it's real. Or when they go out of their way to make another account so that they can like keep talking to you, and I'm like, oh, I feel so special. You made another account and it wasn't even a different name, that different of a name than the first account. Like, come on, dude, come on.
You're like, why are you so obsessed with me?
Exactly. Like, I must be so special. I'm just saying though, like, people don't deserve your time sometimes. And then look, if I say something to you and you don't like it, don't tell me I'm the mean one. What?
Oh, did you just get closer to your mic?
Yeah, wow.
I did. I do that. I get closer to my mic when I'm saying something even more serious. Because you know what? That shit pisses me off. Do not tell me I'm the mean one. When you're what? I'm the mean one after your dumbass just decided to insult me. Like, hold on. Let me just tell you something real quick. Let me just say, stop. Okay? Stop.
Blue made that so easy for everybody. If you didn't understand what she just said, she said, stop. Just stop.
Yes.
Stop it.
Yes. I don't, it's okay. Like, if you need friends, and I tell people this all the time, I'm like, we could be friends. We can be friends. But, like, you want to go and be dumb. So, like, I don't know if we can be friends anymore. Sorry. And they're like, well, what do you mean? And I'm just like, yeah, like, if you want to be a troll, we ain't about that life. I'm sorry, guys. I blew people's ears out.
Yeah, that was so fun. Everyone's like, "Oh my God, Blue, you blew my ears."
I'm sorry,
out."
guys. I didn't mean to do that.
So
I
funny.
just feel very passionate sometimes, and it comes out in a particular way. But yes. Oh Lord. All right. So the other aspect of this question is, how do we defend ourselves? I know, Mooch, you mentioned the black button, black mall.
Well, yeah, I mean, the thing is like it's not just as easy as like the block. See, people spend a lot of time making their alias or who they are, right? So, you know, there's Luca, there's Blue, there's Crap, there's Mooch, there's Next Gen, there's all these people. We've worked hard and you build up. These people that are doing the antagonizing also built their name up. So when you block them, you're taking away that speech they had. They can make a fake account and come again, but it's not them at that point. It's a fake account and they have to start all over again. So when people say, well, blocking doesn't work, no, it actually works very well. What it does is it disencourages them from doing that with you. They may go bug someone else. And that's why people are like, oh, I like to rationalize with what? There's no, people are doing this just to bug people. So it's like, you just have to like, so really, the only way to really do it is you can either self-ignore them by not reading it, you can mute them or block them. Those are your three options. There's no more, no less than that. Like I don't know if there's anything else. Anyone else? Well, you can like make logic. Like that's crazy. Like the person that showed up at Luca's nail salon for 3 weeks in a row now and tapped her foot and fucking sang out loud and got her nail. Like, what is Luca gonna say to rationalize with her? All she could say is, "You're crazy as hell," and I'm either gonna find out when you come and not come. Right? Like all she can do is rework her schedule or she's got to deal with that person's nonsense. Mm-hmm. So like it's really easy. It's either block, mute, or ignore. And if you ignore, then you have some strong skin. You don't mind just constantly someone smacking you around every day. Like you're eventually going to respond. And when you respond, you give in. And when you give in, you lose. So the way to make them lose is to take away their voice. You take away their option to be heard. And once you do that, you win. Even though you did nothing, but you won. That's the way I look at it.
It's true. I definitely agree with that. Nice. I feel like sometimes, especially with streaming, if someone's in your chat trolling you, it's honestly another number, and another number helps you in the long run when it comes to that aspect of that part. But like, yeah, if you're being trolled and you know that that's gonna affect you, then just block them. You don't need them there, you know. And yes, it sucks if someone comes in and you're like, oh my God, someone came in, you know, someone's in my chat, and then it's just a troll. Like, that sucks. It does. But just stay strong and just move on. I feel like it's better if you are. Think of it this way. If someone is actually taking the time out of their day to troll you, you're doing something right, you know? Sometimes it does get people down, and I just want to tell people out there that are dealing with that, just, it's fine. You're fine. Don't worry about what a stranger says, you know? I think that's like the most important thing to remember. But like, what happens if you all are disrespected by someone that you know? Right? Someone that you thought you were cool with, someone that you can block them, yes, but it will create a rift in like your day-to-day. Like, what about that?
That's different. That's definitely different. I mean, I think, and I'll be honest with you, and there's a lot of people that may argue and say I'm wrong here, but I think that happens a little bit more in the female and the things. Guys in their circle, here's the thing. We had a running joke when we were all like in college and shit. Like, even like when you're your best friends in this and that, and like whether the argument was over a girl, the argument was over whatever, sports, or you're just drinking and like stupid conversation get out of hand. Like, guys are generally just getting to like back in the day, you get into a fist fight, and then after the fist fight, they'd be like, all right, let's go get a beer. It was kind of like, all right, we got our anger out. Usually, so the guys usually don't need the block, because you'll get, if they're in your circle, you might get into a tiff with them, but then at the end of the day, you're kind of like, all right, we good? We're good. And I think ladies have a little bit of a harder time. I think women hold grudges a little bit longer, and you know what I mean. And that's true. I'm not judging. I'm reading. Right, I'm reading the book from the outside. I don't know. I'm just saying. So I think like what Blue's saying with that situation is the situation for women. I think is more difficult because when a woman insults another woman inside their circle, you're like, wait, I thought we were good. I thought this was a trust thing and we got to watch each other's back. Whereas with guys, it's like, at any point in time, someone could say something crazy. I might not agree with it. Then we're going to have it out. We're going to talk. But then after that, generally, I would say 99% of the time it gets settled. Both teams kind of see the way it is. And it's like, all right, now we move on with what we get. Guys just kind of get back to like the daily grind. Women will take a little bit more offense to it for a longer period. It doesn't mean women don't get back to it, get back to friendship. It just means I think they hold that grudge a little bit longer. And I see where that can get into that. So it's harder for me to answer the female answer to that kind of an issue. But for guys, like I said, the joke in college was always like, yo, why don't you guys just fight it out and then we'll go get some beers? You know what I mean? Because like once you get that aggression out with guys, we're not going to do the drama thing after that because for me, it's a wrap after. Once I speak my mind to you, if we can carry on with our lives afterwards, we don't need to be angry anymore. We can just, the joke was, let's go get a beer. We'll talk about it. You know what I mean? Like, that's it. But girls, I can see where sometimes it lingers. But you tell me where I'm wrong there because I don't know. This is something from the outside looking in.
Oh, okay. Well, let me go first, Blue.
Yeah.
All right. So, no, I agree with you on that point. That's actually why, for the most part, I like being friends with guys because they're usually very chill. I mean, there's been a couple of times where I've gotten into arguments with my guy friends, and then like an hour later, I'm like, "So, man, did you get that new game?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, I did." It's like that, right?
Yeah.
But like, girls annoy me sometimes, and it doesn't happen often, but I'm very open and honest about how I feel. But a lot of the girls I'm friends with are not. So if I upset one of them, they won't tell me that they're upset at me, but I can tell that they're upset at me and they just treat me differently. And then like they are bitches, right? And I'm just over here like, fam, can we like talk this out? And they're like, there's nothing to talk about. You're the one with the problem, Luca. I'm like, what? Okay. All right. I guess this is fine. But if I'm ever like having an argument with someone or if I disagree with someone and they're my friend or if like my friend disrespects me, it really depends on how close we are, like how close I am to them and how close the people, like our mutual friends are to them. Because there are certain people who, if they disrespect me or say something like rude to me, that I will hold it in and I won't like destroy their life and humiliate them because like of that respect I have for perhaps someone else that they're close to would be upset if I were to say something. I usually just try to diffuse the situation. And but like after I diffuse the situation, I'm like, yeah, I'm like not gonna like I think I need a break from you, dude. Like I don't like people disrespecting me, even if you are my friend, especially if like if you're my friend and you're pissed at something and then you take it out on me. I'm like, all right, well, I'm just gonna mind my business, and when you're done, you can come and talk to me and apologize, and that'll be it. I try not to hold grudges, but I mean, it really depends on the person and the situation and the severity because there's a lot of people
that's true.
who will they'll do something and I'm like, wow, that's fucked up. But you know what? We're friends. I think if we talk it out, it'll be fine. And then there's other people who are like, wow, okay, well, you know what? I'm actually not that close with you. We're friendly, but if you want to come at me like that, then you can go fuck yourself. I'm done.
Luca's right. Like the question, don't forget this to people in the audience that are listening. This question is very broad because, like Luca just said, there's different criteria for each one. How close was the friend to you? Do you know this person? Is this someone that you've worked with for a long time? Is it someone you just met yesterday? I mean, if someone you just met yesterday and all of a sudden they don't care for one of your comments or retweets it out with a sarcastic like hashtag or something, you're like, oh, well, fuck that person anyway. But like if it's someone you've known for a long time, you definitely take the situation, the severity like climbs like 3, 10, 15x, it depends. So this question is kind of like really broad, but like you can break it down into different sections. So Luca's right.
Okay.
Blue's like, that's interesting, but here's why you're wrong.
Right? Yeah, Blue's like, Blue just took a deep breath. I thought she was gonna do like Will Ferrell from fucking Old School, and she was just gonna go off on a rant and then collapse and be like, "That's how you debate."
All right, look, I don't like generalizations. I don't like labels. You'll all learn this about me in time, or if you already know, then you know. I am very much the type to be like, oh yeah, but guess what? Yesterday I got into an argument with a guy who acted just like how you described a girl would act. So now what? So like it yeah, okay, so moving on. Usually people, if they're dramatic people, they'll be dramatic. Whether it's male, female, not, you know, anyone that subscribes to those labels, like people will just, it depends on different personalities. So I personally feel like, and yes, I've had this situation many times with people who call themselves men, where they'll be the ones to be dramatic, and I'm sitting there like, but really though, because what? And it's kind of funny because I get told this a lot, where people are like, well, you're a woman, so you're more emotional. And I'm like, get the fuck out of my face with that shit. Because, like, yesterday you were emotional about this, so don't fucking tell me I'm emotional, right? And what's frustrating about it is that people try and write off the way you feel because you're a woman. Like, oh, well, I mean, it's not that big a deal. Like, your friend did this, but whatever. Like, you're just making a big deal out of it because you're a woman. It's like, look, I'm going to tell you something. If a man did this to you, are you saying that you're not going to get upset because you're a man? Is that what we're saying here? Because a fucked up thing is a fucked up thing no matter who does it.
Right.
You know? A fucked up thing, especially from someone that you know and respected or cared for, is a fucked up thing no matter how you look at it. So, again, like I said earlier, you cannot control the way that people react. So, if you do something fucked up and you are offended by the way that the person, you know, reacted, who's in the wrong at that point? Because you saying something to someone in a disrespectful manner that you were friends with, or that you know, that also that you have mutual respect with, or had, or, you know, thought you had, whatever, there's no excuse for that. If you're upset, and a lot of people say, oh, I say things that I don't mean when I'm upset, that is something that you have to, when you get older, learn how to control. Because with maturity comes things like control, like self-control and filters and all these things. And so if you say something to someone that you know, that's even worse than a stranger saying it to me, because we're cool. Like, how are you going to say something to me and expect me not to get angry if we are quote unquote friends, maybe, you know? Like, with situations with me, it's always family that they think they can get away with saying things to me that may be a little bit passive aggressive and not necessarily be an insult, but sort of be an insult if you read into it. And oftentimes I'm just like, you know what? I'll ignore it. I'll let this pass. But after a certain point, there's no letting it pass. Like, there's no, you don't get freebies over and over and over again. What I look like I'm not here to give you free samples. You know, you're not going to be insulting me over and over again and expect me not to say anything. And that's what my family expects me to do. And the issue that I have with that is that I don't give a fuck who you are. If you are saying something disrespectful to me, I'm going to make sure you know that this is not okay. And I'm the type of person that I'm okay with talking about these things, but I know when someone's trying to be a douchebag, and I'm not going to let you treat me away in any particular way, no matter what your title is. So friends, family, significant others, fucking co-workers. Oh, co-workers. Oh, co-workers. You think you have you think you are safe. I'm gonna tell you right now, I will fuck your life up. Don't. Like, any of these titles that you have, don't think that because you are in a position of power, or any kind of position, if you have any kind of title, that you think you're over me, better than me, older than me, and wiser than me. I don't give a fuck. Like, you will get this fucking mouth, and I will tell you, look, don't be fucking stupid. All right? I'm so sick of the same bullshit. Like, we say it over and over and over again. Get your shit together. All right?
Get your shit together.
Over and over. I'm going to keep saying it until you fucking... This is our slogan. Get your shit together. Do not think that because... And children too. Children get the... Look, children often are not seen as full people because like they're little. Like you think you can speak to a child however you want because they're your child. Bitch, you thought. You do not speak to that child any kind of way you feel. Children deserve respect too. Okay? And everyone needs to remember this stuff because being disrespectful has negative outcomes, whether it's long term, short term. Like people get affected by these things. The things you say matter. And I feel like everyone forgets that. Yes, they're just words. Yes, people have the option to ignore. People have the option to block you. People have the option to snap back. But like, words matter. Okay? So I'm gonna let you know right now.
Yeah, it's always the worst when it's someone that you're friends with. And I've actually noticed a lot. I mean, I know this is not a gaming podcast, get that, but I've noticed a lot that there are a lot of people in the gaming community, and since the majority of them are men, they get upset about things, but people don't like say, well, you're a woman. Well, they don't generalize like that with the whole, because I've seen a lot of guys get upset about some stupid fucking things where I'm just sitting here like, but like that's dumb as fuck though. But if I get upset about something, it's like, well, Luca, you're just a girl, and you girls get dramatic and upset about this stuff. And I'm like, okay, well, I have receipts about the time where you got really pissed and raised your voice, sounded like you were about to cry because of this the game. Don't tell me that how I'm feeling is invalidated just because I'm a girl, okay? Because I have receipts on literally everyone, okay? Like I have receipts on all y'all.
I mean,
and if you think you can say anything to me and I won't pull it out, then you're joking.
Yeah. Like, let's be real here. The only reason why this idea that women are more emotional and dramatic is because in society, men are taught and raised to believe that they are not allowed to feel any other emotion than anger. All right. So let me school y'all motherfuckers on the fact that if you are born into a particular category label as like men and you are raised as a boy man, then you are being showed and taught, and whether it's from your family, from the media, from your friends, from the fucking teachers that think they know it all and will teach you things, but then they teach you the wrong things and you're like, wait, that teacher was wrong. Yeah, you don't realize that a teacher is wrong until like later in your life, or a teacher can be wrong until later in your life. But by that point, you're already molded into a particular person. So I'm just gonna let you know that all these things are put into what we call man. And then men, the reason why they fight oftentimes to get over things is because for them to talk about how they feel is considered feminine. And if you're a feminine man, you're not a man. Right? So I'm just going to tell you all right now, like if you have sons, if you are raising a boy that is not your son, but whatever if you're in a boy's life, let them know that it's okay for them to talk about their emotions, because if not, then they become emotionally constipated people, and that's a problem, because then all that shit that's being held in comes out as anger. Like, this is not something that is, new and like it's not a phenomenon that we cannot figure out. Like, oh my God, but women are emotional. Look, women have the same emotions that men have. We all are people. Like, it's okay, guys, if you feel a certain way. It's okay, guys, if you want to let other guys know that you feel a certain way. You have emotions. You should not be made fun of for that, but yeah, I just sprinkling some knowledge on you guys.
Nice, Blue. A lot of guys all
You're
just
awesome,
put themselves. I think a lot of guys just put themselves in timeout.
I'm just saying, I don't mean to like
I'm only kidding.
I don't mean to like make you all feel uncomfortable. I'm just letting you know that's why it happens, and it's fucked up. Like, being a man in this society is just as fucked up sometimes. Well, being a man in society is fucked up. I'm just gonna say that. And honestly, like, I don't agree with a lot of the bullshit that goes on with this stuff, but like, it's important. And as a man, if you have a son, or even if you are raising children in general, it's important for them to see you in tune with your emotions. It's important for them to see you being able to communicate your feelings, because people don't think about that, but like communication's key for any kind of relationship. And so if you automatically get upset about something and the first thing you do is get angry, as opposed to feeling, there are other words, guys. Let's get the thesaurus out and speak about, disappointment or hurt or, sad. Like, it's okay to feel these things. And if you feel like, oh man, this person's doing this to me, wow, that really hurts, don't get angry. Just be like, yo, this is hurt. Like, this hurts me. This bothers me. Like, can we talk about it? Because as soon as you get angry, then that defense mode goes up, and you're not going to be able to talk to anybody if you're angry. No one wants to talk to someone who is yelling at them. Like, right. Let's be real. Like, no one's going to be like, well, let's talk about this, please. Nah, chill. So, I mean, just some food for thought. If you guys feel like you want to talk about something, it's always better to come at it a different way, unless somebody comes at you a different way, then you're like, yo, you best let them know. Luca
that sounds like a new segment. Yo, you best let them know. That's gonna be the next week. So whoever's on next week on Speak, get ready. You already got a tidbit to what's coming.
Oh man, yeah, it's deep. It really is. We said this was a serious topic, right? We did.
True. We warned you.
Yeah. I think we covered everything in there. What about you guys? You think, Mooch, Luca?
Oh yeah, no, I think you said everything.
Yeah, I think Blue, you got as a matter of fact, CNN and Fox News just shut down for the day. They're like, well, no, Blue got it all. Let's get up and fuck out of here.
Yeah.
I think this was a great show. I think we did a good job. I mean, myself personally, what's crazy is like Crap had mentioned it earlier, like going from M&C Mornings into Speak, because you guys are like me, I like to talk too. So it's like it's a lot of podcasting. Like, it's people don't realize it. Like, the one thing I always like to talk about that a lot of people don't like discuss is a lot of people think like podcasting is easy, and you girls will tell people now it's not. It's a lot of people think it's easy to get on and talk. Just because you can buy a microphone doesn't mean you should use a microphone. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So like you there's something to it that, like, listen, I got news for you. I grew up playing a lot of basketball, but there's a reason my Italian ass stayed in the 3-foot line. I just shot 3-pointers all day. I wasn't going to rush the paint against my friends that are like 6'5", 6'6". You know what I mean? I knew what I was doing, but I was like, no, you have to be outside guy. I used to sit there and shoot like crazy. 3-point. Because if you kicked it out to me, that shit was going in. I had to make myself valuable. But at the same time, this doesn't mean I was going to like quit everything I was doing to try for the NBA. Get the hell out of here. Long-winded story here is just like podcasting is not easy. And I appreciate like Luca and Blue, first of all, having me on the show. Number two, I appreciate what they do in bringing a whole new mix to the community. And I think that when people go, oh, no, not another podcast. If you want to start a podcast, learn something from what Luca and Blue are doing here, because they're taking the gaming and they mix some gaming into it. And they mixed with the Twitter world, as in the YouTube world, and they mixed all that and they made their own show. So like podcasting, don't get like frustrated. People like, oh no, not another podcast. If you want to open and do a podcast of your own, be creative and don't ever worry about when someone's on. Like, just go do your thing. And if you got talent, your show will prevail. Trust me, it will prevail.
That's so awesome. Nice of you. You're so sweet.
Thank you, Blue. That's great.
Let's
that means a lot coming from you,
yeah,
at least for me, because it's like I really admire you. I remember like back when I was just a listener, like I really enjoyed hearing you because of the ranting and like you always speaking your mind. And I'm like, yeah, that guy is amazing. Like, I just appreciate it because I'm always ranting, as some people know. And I was like, I'm pretty much the only person I know in my day-to-day life who does that. So it was just like, it was really nice hearing someone else who was kind of like me, Hashtag female Mooch, I'm just saying. But so,
oh Lord, that's the next Twitter name.
It really works. It's got a nice ring to it.
Oh God. Let's move on to our next segment, which is fuck that shit. And as you know, here we talk about the things that we'd like to get rid of, maybe from the stupid ass world. Let's let Luca go first. Luca, you have a fuck that shit this week.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Um.
You sound sad.
Yeah. So okay. So I was supposed to go out last night with a couple of my friends, and I use the term friends loosely because now I'm just kind of side-eyeing them. But I heard that you know, they may have been saying some stuff about me behind my back, which I mean, honestly, at this point, it's kind of a day that ends in Y for me. Like people, I mean, people are always going to talk about you behind your back. You know, it just sucks sometimes, especially when you thought that they were your friends. But that happened, and you know, people were talking about whether or not I'm trustworthy because I'm like a gossip whore and I like drama. And you know, they didn't defend me. And I it was like throughout a text conversation, I saw the aftermath of it, and they didn't defend me, and that was pretty shitty. But the funny thing is, it's like people are like saying, well, I hear that she likes to gossip, or I hear this, or someone told me that. And I'm like, okay, well, you do realize that someone going to you talking about me is gossiping, right? Like, you
Mm-hmm.
get that, right? Like, you can comprehend that you saying, well, I hear she likes to do this, is you hearing something from someone else who's gossiping about me, and you don't know it firsthand. Like, these people don't know me.
Nope.
They don't know me. And the fact that people I considered my friends wouldn't even defend me, it sucks. You know, it
Mm-hmm.
sucks. So, you know, I fuck that shit. I'm like really tired of people at this point. Like, I'm tired of people not being decent human beings. It's getting on my nerves, you know, especially it's when it's people who I thought were my friends and I keep doing this shit. Like, you need get it together, okay? Like, ugh.
Yeah, I definitely understand what you mean. I mean, I don't I don't understand why it doesn't click for people that if you're talking about someone who likes to talk a lot about people, you're doing the same shit. So what? Like I don't know. I kind of feel like that's dumb. I know I say that a lot, but like why are you so stupid, people? Like why are you so stupid? Just saying. I do
Yeah.
think that in that situation, I mean, so okay, when I am in a situation like that, I'm often always thinking about what are the intentions for everyone involved, because while you said that the person that showed you that thing was in the conversation, did they say anything to defend you?
Nope.
Yeah, so that's interesting, right? Because like you're showing me this and you're kind of showing me that you also didn't help. So now what?
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. But what was worse is that they pretty much agreed with them. They were like, yeah, she likes to do this. First of all, it's not my
Ah.
fault. People come to me about drama and gossip. People talk to me, okay? It's not like I'm going out of my way to like tell people about other people, you know? Like, I
Mhm.
mind my business unless it's like with my friends and like someone's talking shit about my friend. I'll go and tell my friend like, "Hey, this person was talking shit about you. Just be mindful of them, okay?" That's what I do. But I don't go around like starting drama and trying to start fights and like say, "Oh, did you hear that so and so did this with so and so?" And yeah, right? Like, I don't do that because I don't care enough to do any of that. It's too much work, and I am too busy with work and
Mhm.
school and gaming to occupy myself with that. People like to talk to me.
Yeah.
People come to me about stuff. I don't go to others about things. People come to me and tell me these things, and I'm like, "Oh, okay," you know? And if you tell me don't say anything, then I'm not going to say anything. And if
Mhm.
you're my friend, that's like a given that I'm not going to say anything. It doesn't even have to be spoken about. It doesn't even have to be asked, you know? So it just sucks. It sucks that people who I thought were friends, people who I thought knew me, look down on me and in that way.
Yeah. And now you have to figure out the aftermath of all this, right? Because you know when you go in on tomorrow, oh shoot, tomorrow's Monday already. Woo. Tomorrow, you're going to be like, you know, they're going to be like, "Oh, hi, Luca. You know, how was your weekend?" You know, and you're going to have to sit there and be like, "Bitch, I know what you did
And you're like,
last
I know
night."
what you did. First of all, people need to stop talking shit about me because I always find out. Like, I always find, and maybe there are instances where I don't find out, but a lot of the time I do find out because there will be other people who they don't seem to realize are close with me who will be like, hey, yo, dudes, so and so saying some things. I don't know how you like. Did you know about this? And I'm like, okay, like,
Yeah.
ugh.
Yeah, that's hard. I'm the type of person that when I go in to work the next day and I see somebody who, was just basically talking shit about me, I would be like, it just irks me, that whole like, oh hi, how you doing, that fake shit. Like I would just be like, yo, so you want to see something funny? Bam, screenshot. Bam.
Jesus
Now
Christ.
what? You still gonna tell me good morning? How are you? No, not
Yeah,
happening.
I hate fake people, dude, because it's like I I mean, okay, like I'm fake at work, but I have to be. It's part of my job. But like in general, like I pride myself on being honest and open, and I do want to talk to them about like what I saw, but the person who showed me is like, "Well, don't tell them I told you." I'm like, "Okay,
Oh, I
well,
hate that.
I'm kind of like stuck in a hard place now." It sucks. It sucks because I do just want to talk about it because one of the girls who I was like, yeah, I'm not hanging out with you tonight. She was just like, I feel like you're mad at us, and it's like they know I'm angry, but it's
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, I don't know how to approach the situation without, I guess, betraying the trust quotation marks of the person who told me about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think that person. I don't think that was a good thing that the person. I don't think that people who do things like that think about the repercussions of it, because like it's like now you know, but you can't tell them that you know. That makes no sense. Like you're just making it worse for the person that's going through it.
Yeah, I mean, and there's been instances where something's happened and I've told my friend about it, and then the person they'll confront the person, and the person will come at me and be like, "Okay, well, did you say something to someone?" And I'll be like, "Yeah, I did." Because there's no
Mm-hmm.
point in lying about it,
Right.
you know? And I like I said, if someone asks me a straight like a question to my face, I'm not going to lie to them. I'll be like, "Yeah, I did say something about it."
Right.
And for the most part, it's fine, but every now and then you'll get those people who are like, I can't believe you told them I was talking shit about them. I'm like, what?
I don't know. I
Maybe
feel
you
like if
shouldn't
you're
have, like,
talking shit, you should
what?
own up to it, right?
Yeah,
No,
like, yeah, own up for your, own up for
not
the things
me.
you
If
say,
I
guys.
ever, because usually, okay, if I am talking about someone behind their back, which rarely ever happens, but if it does happen, they know that I'm saying this. Like they know how I feel.
Yeah,
Like
I
they'll be
don't ever
like,
say anything behind someone's back that I wouldn't say to their face. There's
exactly,
been like so many instances where someone's like, "Well, I heard you said this." I'm like, "Yeah, motherfucker, I did say that, and this
exactly.
is
If they come
why."
up to you and be like, "Yo, did you say?" Yeah, yeah. So what now? And they're like, they
Like,
don't know
yeah,
what to say. Like, what happened? What are you gonna do about it?
and I
Nothing.
only ever talk about people who do things to me personally, like who just do stuff to me, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But uh yeah, because like I said, there's been instances where people have been like, well, like, I remember this one time I was like complaining about the team lead of my old job, and he was like such a shitty team leader, and he never helped us, and I was always the one staying like 2 hours past my time to make sure everything got in as he disappeared off the face of the earth. And I was complaining about him, and then someone told him I was complaining about him, and then me and him hung out, and then he's like, "So I heard you were talking shit." And I was like, "Yeah, I sure was. I said you were a shitty team leader, and that you never helped me, you were never there for me, you suck." And he's like, "Oh, damn, yeah, you're right. Yeah, 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 you're right." Like, like I don't say anything about anyone behind their back that I wouldn't say to their face. Okay.
Right, right.
Mhm.
Oh boy. All right. Well, for my fuck that shit. I'm just honestly like things just make me very angry, okay? But I will say that mine is not about people, which is, unusual. But this week I do want to say fuck anxiety. I know I mentioned it earlier. It's really a bitch. Like I am going on a trip next week for work, and I'm going to Texas. So shout out to all the people that are living in Texas. I don't know why, but I know that everything's gonna be fine, except that I keep in my head, and mostly it's like when I'm not busy, before I fall asleep, before if I'm like trying to relax, I'll think about like, okay, what am I forgetting? What do I need to do? What might happen what might go wrong? Like all this shit that just like stresses me out. And then when that happens, it's hard for me to reel it back. If anyone deals with any anxiety, I will say that what I usually
Blue,
do.
can I try and help you out though? I want to try and help you out that because I travel a lot for work too.
Yeah, go for it.
What you got to do, Blue, is this. So here's the thing, buddy. I used to do the same thing. You'd be like, oh my God, all the shit I have to pack, right? You're gonna be gone for a while. Here's the thing: almost 90%, maybe even more, of what's in your bag, if you get there and you forget it, you can just go buy it.
Yes.
So like if you forget something that you usually have in your toiletry bag or whatever, you can definitely go buy that shit. You can buy that in the airport. Okay. So you can even buy that before you even found out you made an oops. As far as clothes, there's been times where I was like, oh my God, I gotta stay an extra day. I didn't bring enough like dress pants, whatever for the meeting. You know what you gotta do? You go to the store, you buy yourself something new. It doesn't matter. If these things that you want to do. Well, listen, you got to do what you got to do, right? You got to spend it when you got to spend it.
I
told you I'm not going to walk. I am not walking in, right?
I cut that shit up and make it some kind of cute.
Ladies can look good in a t-shirt. A guy can't show up in just a Hanes t-shirt and be like, this is why you got to buy my shit. They'd be like, what? So like, you got to understand, like, that's the stuff, like, you got to let that anxiety completely lay off. Now, I don't want to add anxiety to you because, like, the things that I always usually worry about is, like, shit. I mean, I worry about the plane, okay? I worry about the stuff I can't control about. I'm like, if this plane starts acting funny, my ass is going to start driving this thing, right? Well, of course, that's what I thought you were going to say. The rest of it all doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If you didn't bring the shoes you wanted, you didn't bring your toiletry bag, you forgot that thing that you needed for the meet. Guess what? Everything can be bought. All I ever hope for is we take off and we land. Yeah. After that, everything else can be bought or fixed or talked about. Talk your way out of it. Talk your way into it. Whatever you got to do, you can do that. That's the only thing with me. And like, that's the one thing with travel that's always been, and I travel a lot too, Blue. So this isn't to just freak you out. Like I got to travel too in a few weeks. Like there's stuff that comes up. Like you're like, damn, I hate stuff that's not in my control.
Right.
That's the stuff that freaks me out.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? But I mean, realistically, here's the thing. Again, same thing like with the sleep thing. What are we going to do? You have to go to work. You've got to do this. So no matter what's going to happen, that shit was already written anyway. Mm-hmm. So like it is what it is. So what I'm trying to do to tell people who they say they have anxiety, I'm like, just relax because whatever is going to happen is going to happen. Mm-hmm. Same shit with what we talk, kind of like, it's weird how this is all tying in. I didn't mean for this to tie in, but same thing with like the unconditional love, right?
I meant same for kind of thing. Tie in.
Oh, wow. Look at you. From now on,
Blue, on purpose, guys.
Blue will now be known as the author. Okay. That's how she will be known throughout Twitter. No, but I mean, like realistically, these are things like when you go out to meet your better half, it happens. When you got to go to work the next day, whatever happens will happen. Nobody wants to get into a car accident, but we don't lose sleep over that. Mm-hmm. So it's the same shit. Don't freak out. I'm gonna let you get back to your FTS. But I mean, like, right? Yeah. But like, don't let that shit freak you out, Blue, because everything you need is in a store near you, wherever you land.
Yes, that is also one of the things that I tell myself. But like, in order, if you do deal with anxiety, some of the exercises that I do, because it's important to have exercises to help you through it. You can definitely look some up online if you would like. But some of the exercises that I do is A, write down a list. That's been helping me. B, tell yourself over and over again, things like that. Like Mooch said, you can buy it if you need it. You can get, if I'm traveling with people, so like someone may have an extra, they might have something that you can use, or just like logically give yourself logical explanations as to the worries that you have or that you are thinking of in the moment. Things like that help me a lot, and I'm able to reel myself back and like kind of calm down and not worry about all that stuff as much. If you do have worries that are like out of your control or things that are not as small as like something that you forgot, you can always tell yourself, I'm a smart person and I can handle this when the situation occurs, if it occurs. Or if you look up online, what are the chances of this happening? That kind of thing helps you, because if you see that it barely ever happens, then you'll be fine, So I don't know. I mean, yes, anxiety is definitely something that a lot of people struggle with, and it's not fun. So I just want to let you know that I deal with it too, and yeah, there are ways to help yourself with that. But still, fuck that shit.
Fact.
All right, Mooch, you go.
Okay. So my fuck that shit is, and I'm gonna broaden this out. Not gonna be the typical Mooch speech. Is the media, and I don't mean the media in the gaming sense. I mean the media. Period. The media's got to stop this nonsense of whatever agenda they have on either side. And I'm not going to get specific because you never cross gaming and politics. But the whole thing is that like we all have to come together for the better of people and for the better of like when you're talking about the gaming world, the better product. If it's a better product, don't bash the one just because you have an agenda on the other side. And I'm tired of the media on the other side being political one way or the other. The fact of the matter is we all have to get up every day. Tomorrow's Monday morning, people. A lot of people that are listening to this, we all got to get up and go to work. We got to get up and go to work tomorrow. And it's a grind. And no matter who's sitting in any seat anywhere, I still got to go to work all damn day tomorrow. So like what I'm saying is the people that are supposed to be out there helping all of us and making our lives easier, they need to start making our lives easier and stop with this nonsense and the bullshit back and forth. And the same thing goes with the gaming world, right? With the gaming world, Sony had their run for 3 years and the media ran with it. Now Microsoft comes out and puts the same shit out, but better. And they're like, no, here's why you don't need Microsoft. You're like, wait, what? What did you say? Like, what am I in a coma right now? I just wake up? Yeah. It's like everything is twisted and demented. And you know what sucks is that maybe it was always this way. Maybe this is the way it's always been, but now it's come to the forefront when it comes to social media and everything's out there. The world's become very small, right? When we were all younger, you back to the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, you felt like from one end of the world to the other was so big. And now when someone's like, hey, I'm from Beijing, I'm like, yeah, it's like next door. And it's like, because the internet has tied us all so close together. We've got to stop with this nonsense. And the media is not what it used to be. So let me get back to my first example. When we were kids, you had one nightly news show. One. Okay. You had like one anchor, one person. It was at 6:30 on NBC. Well, excuse me. There was NBC, CBS, and ABC. But it was just one person, and that's it. You had to wait till 11 o'clock to hear that person talk again. Same person talking twice for a half an hour. Now you got CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, blah, blah, and it's 24/7, 365. There is no news in the world, none, that can occupy 365, 24/7. Nothing. So we know what you start getting? Opinions, bullshit, nonsense, agenda, lobbyists, money filtration, just ridiculous amounts of money sifted through to push an agenda. Happens in gaming, happens in politics, and maybe someone can turn around and say, Mooch, this has been going on since the beginning of time. That may be true, but we didn't have 365 days, 24/7 of nonsense in our face, and now we do. And it's actually hurt humankind for all purposes, right? Everyone is so full of shit on TV. Listen, someone told me this story a long time ago, like Frank Sinatra. Everybody knows the great classic Frank Sinatra, right? He had his problems. Here's one of his problems right now. He drank too much. But back in the day in the 1950s, somebody that used to be in New York City told me a story. They said they pulled over, way back in the day, they pulled over Frank Sinatra. He was drunk as shit. They pulled him over, and they're like, dude, you are wrecked. And he was like, yep. And they were like, all right, we're going to go ahead and get a cop car to come. We're going to escort you back to your house, and we'll get the car towed to your house. It was a respect thing, this and that. It was something that when you were a kid, you're like, damn, that's awesome. I want to be like so important that people look out for me and stuff like that. Now when somebody's like had like 2 drinks and there's somebody from Hollywood, there's 55,000 cameras around them, and the cop can't wait to call TMZ so that they can get their 25 seconds of fame arresting the dude. And it's like, like we've just all kind of crumbled for society. All we're looking for is our 15 seconds. You know what I mean? And like, that's not what life's about. Like the 15-second thing is it's your glitz and glamour for so short. And all you really did was tear someone else down so you could go up for 15 seconds. And that's why all this nonsense has got to stop with the media. The media has too much power. It has way too much power. And that's why the gaming media hates YouTubers, because we come on and we spit a true opinion. You don't have to like my opinion, but I'm not being paid by anybody to tell you. You can just turn me off and I'm like, oh, all right, there you go. There, one less view. But what does that equate to? Like a fraction of a cent? Who cares? These guys here all have money sifted through from the top, and it trickles all the way down. And all you're seeing, whether it's a news anchor or it's somebody on IGN, Kotaku, or Polygon, is you're seeing the money that someone paid them at the top sift through, and it's what they spew out, and that's the propaganda that you're supposed to follow and purchase into. So my fuck that shit is fuck the gaming media, fuck all those people over there. Tune into the YouTubers. Doesn't have to be me. Tune into anyone you like. Listen to people who aren't making like real money off of it. Like YouTube money is a joke. People are like, well, you make YouTube money. Yeah, it's barely enough to pay like a half of a phone bill. Like, give me a break. Like, you think Blue and me and Luca are like, we're taking this money and we're like, hey, I hope I see you guys in the penthouse in Vegas right after this show. Speak just made $8,000. No, it didn't. You know, it's like, this is not what it is. We take time out of our day to really talk about the passion and things that we love. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what the media used to be. It used to be true journalism, right? Like, people used to grab their notepad and pen and go out there and look for a story and report something to the people that we didn't know. Now you've got YouTubers searching through facts and doing our homework to provide content for you. And all you're getting from the mass media is the bullshit headlines. Well, bullshit headlines they're a dime a dozen these days. So tune into what you want. Follow the news source you like for political stuff. Follow the news source you like for gaming or any other related source, because a lot of these mainstream media, it's all filtered down lobbyist money and it's nonsense. So fuck that shit.
Dude, I agree with you 100%. And it's like, with social media these days, everyone is connected to everyone else. And if someone does even the tiniest thing, let's take Colin Moriarty, for instance. Like, he's doing just fine. Like, it was a blessing in disguise, really.
Yeah, it was.
But like, he makes a small joke and everyone jumps on him, and the joke wasn't even a big deal, you know. But people, since you're so connected, they feel like they can say whatever they want or do whatever they want, and you really have to be careful of what you say and do, because if you don't, you're gonna get attacked. And it's also like with the media, it's like these clickbait articles, they say whatever, and I mean, the headlines that you see, like that one dude who was like, turns out you could stick a fucking Switch controller up your anus, and I'm like, what?
That's ridiculous.
Like,
just
what?
For clicks and views,
like,
right?
Clicks and views. Like, it's ridiculous, you know? And these people call themselves journalists? Are you kidding me right now? They just say whatever, and it's like, you know what will get me the most views? What's the most popular thing? I will lie, and I will make things up, and I will do crazy things just to make sure I get those clicks and I get that money, because that's all that matters now. No one has any integrity anymore, and it's unfortunate, you know. And then they expect you to respect them. Dude, you wrote an article about sticking a controller up your ass. How am I supposed to respect you? Yeah. Why would you even think that you deserve respect after that? It's ridiculous.
Yeah, that was unbelievable. And then the event took place after that, where he just went in and started attacking the Xbox One fans and Xbox fans as a whole. And it's like, you know, wait a minute. Why? I mean, I don't understand why. The reason that we even bring this stuff up is because they're supposed to be better than that. They're supposed to be paid journalists. And they're like, well, we're not supposed to be objective. If you're not objective, then you're just a YouTuber like all of us. What are you doing on that big stage? You know, I mean, I can't act worth a shit, but that doesn't mean I should be like co-hosting in Ocean's 14 next to fucking Clooney and fucking Pitt, right? Yeah. Coming next fall, Pitt, Clooney, Mooch. You know what I mean? Like, no, it doesn't work that way. I don't belong on the big stage, right? I didn't put in my time. I didn't go to acting school. You know, it's like, but these guys here are supposed to be journalists. They got hired. They're making money. And they also represent their big company. A lot of these companies are all represented by Viacom. You know, big money in media. And you're supposed to be a reflection of who you work for. And when, you know, if they did their own channel and they're like, this has nothing to do with my place of work, this is my own opinion, fine, totally fine. That's their own thing. And I get that. They're entitled to do that like we are. Mm-hmm. But when you work for a major publication that deals in video games, you can't come out and be so, I hate this. You hate half of the industry fans? Like, who says that? You know what I mean? That's like wearing I'm a vegan to a fucking like McDonald's rally. You know what I mean? Like, what? You're only there for the salad lovers? I don't know. So it is what it is. But I mean, like, that's what it's come to. The world is just so fickle these days. And man, it's tough. It's tough to be even in the gaming YouTube world. But yeah, no, it is what it is. And the media is just gone south.
Yeah, I don't understand all of that. I just feel like if you don't like something, you don't like something. Don't not like it because someone tells you not to like it.
Right.
I don't understand. If I speak to you about something and you feel like, okay, I don't like it. And usually I'm not one to get into that conversation with the consoles and things like that. But for some reason, recently it's come up and somehow it sneaked its way in. And I found myself talking to someone about it. And they were just
Because
telling
you've
me,
been hanging out with us.
oh, Lord, I'm just like, y'all are rubbing off on me. And I don't want to talk about this shit. But whatever, we're talking. I just don't. I'm like, okay, so oh yeah, I might do this, blah blah. And they're like, but why? Why would you buy that? And I'm like, because I want to. And they're like, well, I think you should save your money. And I'm like, who are you to tell me like to save my money? Oh well, I'm just looking out for you, you know, so you don't spend your. I didn't ask you to look out for me. Number one, and number two, let me just tell me why. There, like, I'll give you. Let me see what you have to say. And basically, it's just a bunch of just like, oh, but they're better. Oh, but they do this. Oh, but this and that. And I'm like, yeah, but what? Oftentimes, they just say things that are basically the same. Every company has their issues. So I don't understand why this company somehow gets a pass and you're just like, well, yeah, they have the same issue, but it's fine, like it's fine. And then the other company has the same exact issue and you're just like, no, but that sucks. Like they're bad because of that. And I'm just like, that makes no sense. That makes no sense. No one should get a pass. There's no like, if you are angry with one company because of something that they did and another company does the same exact thing, you should be angry with both. Don't fucking tell me that this one's better because you just like them more and they have better this, better that, and that. That's stupid. You can't convince me to not get something that I want because I fucking, I don't understand. I don't understand. I just feel like y'all need to chill. All of you guys are dollar signs to these companies, just saying. So you're not special. And that is all, folks.
Nice. That's good. Good
Um, all right. So next segment is basically where we tell you guys where to find us. And we are going to start with our guest, Moochie. Where can everyone find you? What do you do for the newcomers and new faces?
I appreciate the plug, and so here's where you can find me. So I'm doing a lot more streaming, not nearly as much as Blue and TiVo, but I'm trying to keep up, and I do like it, to be honest with you. So you can find me on Mixer. Of course, it's mixer.com/themooch. YouTube, of course, the Mooch78. Twitter, you guys already know, at Mooch1978, and yeah, I mean, listen, I'm on Crossfire, my own channel, my own show, Friday night, 7 o'clock Eastern time, aka the Lord's time, the only time. Okay, take that, you West Coasters. No, but there's also I'm loving what me and Crap and J Dubs are doing. M&C Mornings is something special. We've got so much stuff coming. We just actually got, after we wrapped up today, we went on to look at what the new set is for our new skit called The Rundown. You guys will see it next week, hopefully. And it just takes time because we started our Patreon about 2 months ago. It's just picking up steam. Guys, like we ask all the time, please do go to our Patreon. The link is in the M&C Mornings from this morning. It's $1 a month. And let me tell you something. There's other ones on there for $5, $10. I don't care about all that.
I'll definitely
$1 a
add
month,
the link here too.
I really appreciate that. I'll send it to you, Blue, if you don't have it already. I appreciate it. Like, in all honesty, it really helps. It's getting Jay's equipment up to like ungodly capabilities so that we can just make things so fun. We have so many things written down. We spend so much time every week doing skits and bits, and we have them all written down. We just need to get certain things in order, and we want to actually refund a lot of this money back. Like I said, we do giveaways during every episode, and then we're also doing once a month a $60 giveaway, and then there's other things we're doing as well. So like I say, $1 in a dream, right, folks? New York lottery, $1 in a dream. So if all you great people out there that enjoy M&C Mornings could head over to Patreon and do that, that is much, much loved. And I'll ramble here a little bit longer. iTunes, we're on iTunes and we're on Google Play. Even if you're like, dude, Mooch, I don't listen to you guys on iTunes. I listen to you guys on YouTube. That's fine. Go over to iTunes and sub M&C Mornings anyway. Follow us on there anyways. It kind of puts a notch on the old gamer like podcast belt. You know what I mean? It puts you in there in the recognized location. There's so many people view that listen to me, Crap, J-Dubs. It'd be really cool to have us again. We actually made the top 50 one time on our first show ever. And it lasted for like, 15 to 20 seconds, but it was great. It was great. We made it there and it was like, oh my God, that's insane. So definitely hit us up on there again. And I want to thank Blue and Luca for having me on the speak. I'm sure if you guys ever ask me to come back, I'd love to come back on.
Thank you so much for being here.
Absolutely. Like I said, this was a lot of fun. It was a great change of pace from the normal podcasting I'm used to.
I'm glad. We're like super excited that you decided to join us. And honestly, I think this was amazing. We had an amazing show this week. I'm sure lots
awesome.
of you will agree in chat.
Fact.
Luca, tell us where we can find you.
All right. So first, I just want to say, thanks so much, Mooch, for coming on. I have a lot of respect for you, and it's great always getting the chance to talk to you. You're awesome, dude. Yeah, I'm totally Mooch maniac, man.
She's great.
Yeah. But you can find me, on Speak Podcast, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you can also find me on Dealer Gaming's channel because he just started a podcast, and I'm gonna be on that. It's Tuesdays, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So come and check us out. I'm really excited about that. Some really cool guys on there. Colt Eastwood all day. Jay Fonzarelli. Who else is there? And Dealer. Who else is there?
Nice.
I think that's...
Yeah, congratulations to you guys, Luca. Let me take a second to say congrats. I sent that out to Dealer as soon as he announced it, and you guys were all on there. That's awesome, and it's good to see you show your talents again on a podcast along with you speak. It's really going to be a great show, and I wish you guys great success.
Thank you so much. Like, I'm very excited, and all those guys, they're awesome guys. They keep it real, and I'm looking forward to working with them. Awesome. And also, just find me on Twitter. Fighting with people as per usual. I say it every week. And and one more thing, find me on MNC Mornings. I always call in and leave a voicemail. People complain, but there's also a lot of people who love it, so
fuck them.
We love it. Keep doing it.
Awesome. And again, thank you, Mooch, for coming through. We are super excited about it, and hopefully we can get you on again. I'm pretty sure that will happen soon. I'm on Twitch. I'm a streamer, so I don't know if you guys have seen me, but if you want, that's also live usually, and I do have a schedule. I also have a Discord. Definitely join up on the Discord if you guys want to know what my schedule is like. I'm on Twitter. All of my links will be down below, along with Luca's links, along with Mooch's links, so definitely check that out. Let us know in the comments how you feel about this episode, what possible topics you are thinking that we should talk about, and let us know any other criticisms and things like that you may have. Make sure you guys do like the video because that helps us. And we will not be having an episode next week. Next week is 4th of July weekend, so I hope you guys enjoy that. And if you're going with family or if you're by yourself, I hope you have fun. But we'll be back up the following week, and I look forward to seeing all of you. So that is all. All right. Bye.
Bye.